So welcome back, everybody. We're about to start sharing the link for our YouTube channel, but this is part two. So we don't like. I'm gonna be honest with the people that are coming on watching live. We don't expect like a super big audience today because yesterday is when it was fresh. The con had just ended. Everyone was ready and gunning, and they wanted to share their voices. In which we want to say thank you to everyone that joined us last night. You know, it meant a lot to us. It really showed the community really come together and like just open up and share and just it's crazy because we didn't expect things to get we didn't expect things to blow up last night like they did. Actually, we didn't expect that number, that anything, honestly. So like I said, I already said it, but thank you everyone, thank you so much for just sharing your voices, sharing everything, venting, screaming, complaining, whether you trolled us, you agree with us, you shared, you opened up, whatever it was. We want to just say you guys are awesome. You're amazing. We appreciate every single one of you. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy 48 hours, and we're here to do our to do our part. This is part two of the podcast. So yesterday we covered like people coming on the show and talking about their experiences and what they heard and what they saw. Today we have a couple special people coming on the show. So I'm King Mexico, also known as Jesse Goku, also known as Captain Mexico. Joining me is my co-host. He is the Texas Gaming Hedgehog himself, Keyblade Sonic.
Hi, and a rare Tuesday appearance. Hello, everybody.
That's right. He never shows up on Tuesdays.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. So joining us, we do have our special guest right now, but we're going to introduce our other special guest. Joining us is a person who has been very vocal. They've been sharing all over Instagram. They've been blowing up, at least my feed, with everything that's been going on in the con scene right now with WEEBCON, as we're calling it, the horror story, the good, the bad, the ugly. Hold the good, all the bad, all the ugly right now. The Wi-Fi wife. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no. I'm surprised you even said yes. Like, that show seems like a mess. I'm not gonna go. All right. So and then joining us is I'm sorry. So our next guest is Ava. So Ava, I'm actually going to allow you to kind of introduce yourself and kind of talk about yourself right now. That way, just sorry.
You have the floor.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take the floor for now.
All right. So my name is Ava. I also go by Security Breach on Instagram and Cosplay on TikTok. And I just wanted to share my personal experience with WeebCon and some things I witnessed, and also my story on getting assaulted at an after party in a hotel room.
So first and foremost, let me just say that I am very, very sorry that happened to you. Like, as some of you guys have noticed, for some of you that watch the show, some of you that are just joining us, some of you that are joining us later, watching the after, the replay, I am more like high energy, energetic. I tend to be like, ¿Cómo están todos? Aquí estamos festejando. Aquí estamos Geeks Forever con Telemundo. And, I'm always joking around, always making, trying to have a good time. But this is one of those
situations.
This is definitely a situation to where, like, we want to say, Ava, that we are really sorry that happened to you. That's horrible. It in other words, like, I can't really put it into words, but it fucking sucks.
Yeah, and I really, it means the world to every single person that reached out for support, and you guys even having me on your show. Like, that truly means the world to me, and I really, really appreciate that.
It's crazy. So we've covered horror stories. We've covered cons. There's a con owner in the north who we will call Voldemort because we don't want to give him any we don't want to give him any attention. We don't want to give him any any clout. We don't want to give him anything. Like, we're not going to get his name out there because we don't want people to go to his I don't something Kof. I don't even remember. So this guy, he's a piece of shit. We've talked about him. There's actual police reports of actual crimes he's committed where people didn't actually go through with pressing charges. But we had somebody on the show who, like, there was a guy claiming to be staff for a convention in Florida, like several conventions in Florida, that was using that way as to like sleep with different girls. He was using that, and he wasn't part of staff for the end of the cons. He was being a fucking asshole.
Oh God.
Oh my.
And it fucking sucks because like, this is a community where, like, a lot of us, especially us older folk, like, I'm old as hell, and like, we wanted somewhere to be safe and somewhere to be accepted, and like, this is something that we didn't have. It's like, when you talk about being in the closet, you weren't just in the closet based on your sexuality, you were in the closet based on if you were a geek or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, are you a Pokemon fan? No, I'm not a Pokemon fan. If you are, we're going to kick the shit out of you. Like, these are legit threats that happened in middle school and high school when I was growing up. But we joined this community. We want to be a part of it. We wanted to be somewhere where we're accepted and everything was cool. Everyone got along, and it just seems like shit is getting worse and worse and worse. We had another incident, I think it was last year, Sonic, or earlier in the year, with a convention called Holiday Matsuri.
Yeah, that was late
yeah.
last year. Yeah.
Late last year, where they were actually roofing the water, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that actually happened.
There was also IkiCon of 2023 where they roofied the water and everyone threw up black.
There's also one year at San Japan where they put acid in the water.
Really? At San Japan?
Yeah, this is early San Japan, though. This was, I believe, 2009 or 10.
Okay.
Like, this is when they were still at the Holiday Inn, where you had to cross the street to the convention. There's so many cons. And there's so, like, it's crazy. So when so what happened with us and how we got in, like, how we started, like, getting involved, and we contacted Ava to be on the show. So shout out to Deacon Rap, who actually sent me the screenshots of the story that Ava had posted. Ava had come forward and was brave enough to share with the world what happened.
Thank you so much, and thank you to him for bringing more attention to that as well.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Deacon. Like, as much like Deacon, you're my friend, you're my buddy. As much as I make fun of you, bro, you're a good dude. I don't care what anybody says.
Absolutely.
And you know what I'm talking about because I've already told you what people said about you. But he brought it up to us. We contacted Ava. It took like a day because we contacted you in the middle of the night. And we honestly, Ava, thank you for even like responding to us. I know you said thank you for bringing you on the show, but thank you for just responding to us. And, just it's you. I don't know if you can kind of, like, you right now, everyone's seeing you, like, you're very brave for coming forward. Like, this is not easy for a lot of people. This is not, like, it's tough. It's something that sucks because you got to kind of relive it and all that shit. And
yeah, it's definitely been probably the hardest thing I've had to deal with, but I feel like if I don't speak up, nothing is going to happen, and I want to have a voice for other victims as well.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get right to it. So you are, so you don't, I'm going to ask you, you did post in the thing, the room number, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's 2211.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how did, so here's the thing about room parties, and this is a whole nother topic for another day. So there are people that absolutely do not like room parties. There's people that like, oh, why the hell do you go to cons and drink? Like, what's the point of you going to a con and drinking? Like, that's stupid. Like, you were going to the con. Like, there's two arguments to that story. People that are for like drinking in cons, and there are people against drinking at cons. Just like there are like there's so many like things about conventions that we could talk about, but there are people that believe that the room parties are are causing more damage to the community. They're more harmful than good. So I will say this. There's some truth to that. At the same time, I think it's complete, how would they say, hoopla, if you know what I'm talking about.
A big fuss.
Yes. Because there are people that are not a part of the party scene, that are not part of the, room party, drinking party. There are stories, and this is from and they can come forward and tell me if it's true or not. This is what I heard. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but there are people at OniCon that were attendees. They didn't have a room party. They didn't have a party. They didn't have anything. They didn't do any drugs. This was when OniCon was at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, Texas. Somebody, and I'm sorry, guys, like this, I'm not exaggerating here. Somebody shit in their hand and rubbed it on the wall.
Oh,
Jesus
I heard
Christ.
about that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh man, little reminder.
So, like, there are instances of people being stupid at conventions. Look at, like, and we talked about this dude yesterday. Honey Buns, Pete over here. The fuck is his Whole Wheat Pete? Yeah,
Pete.
yeah. There.
Mhm.
God, I can't get his name right. So he is an individual. Like, he's a fine example of this guy does stupid things. Like, I saw a video of him like wall climbing. He ran up a wall and he kicked a hole into it.
Yeah.
And like, he was tackling people. He was getting people to shove his head into the water fountain, which gross, by the way, because that thing is filled with absolute, like, a lot of germs.
A lot of bacteria, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
He's the reason they shut off the fountains the rest of the con.
Yeah,
Right,
there's video of it too, like
Mhm.
doing it.
So we have a poll right now on Instagram. If you guys can vote, we are asking people, do you want us to do a special on Whole Wheat Pete? So far, okay, so there's 3 options: yes, no, and then who. And there, yes
is when
and
it's currently on
it's
delete.
between yes and who. So yeah, so if you can vote right now, go and vote. We're debating on doing a special on that, just on Whole Wheat Pete. We do have a couple other specials we're going to talk about later, but right now, so all right, so let's get back to, so we're talking about, like, it doesn't have to be like the drinking crowd or the room party crowd that goes and makes ruin shit, right? You have other groups of people that just like to ruin shit for everybody, like Whole Wheat Pete just being like a good example of that. There was a group of cosplayers who like vandalize other stuff. I got to get that information from our friend, but yeah, so like, that's why I say yes and no. The room party crowd could be hurting the con, but at the same time, it's not just them. Like, it's 50-50, I think. Could be more, but I digress. So Ava, when did all this happen? Honestly, when did this happen to you?
I went up, I believe it was all a little bit of a blur, but I think I went up around 2:30 a.m.
So if you don't remember the details, that's fine. Like, so this was like Saturday.
Yes, this was Saturday night. Or
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And all right. Like, okay, and like I said, any questions that we ask, you don't have to answer. You can just say I don't recall if you don't remember, or you could just say pass if you don't really want to answer it. It's fine.
Okay.
So we're here to help you. At any point, if you need to step away, just let us know. I just want to make the audience aware that you are allowed to take a breather if you need to.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So this we're like, were you at the rave, or like, so I kind of want to paint a picture, like, because so there's a reason why, because a lot of the times you have these guys running around and they'll specifically walk up to like girls and be like, hey, we got a room party, we got alcohol. Oh, I'm not 21, I'm not 20. Oh, well, nobody cares, come on up. I've seen that shit happen. Like that happened at a con during New Year's, and there's even an infamous, like, we say code 109 because the room number was 109. Not to be a joke or anything, but whenever we say 109, that's how we know, like, okay, room party bad, we probably need to bail whoever's in there out.
Yeah.
So like do you remember anything leading up to it, like were you approached?
No, I was not approached from a mutual friend that I was hanging out with. She DM'd the group chat and she said there's a room party in room 221, and so me and my friend who was in the 18 plus area at the time, we went up to room 221, and I first went inside, and I'm underage and I'm 18, and I know this is illegal and I shouldn't have drank, but I did drink 2 shots, and because there's massive amount of vodka. And I drank 2 shots, and I had some of this green like juice. I asked what it was because I wanted an energy drink, and someone who was attending the party said it has some energy drink. It's like a mix of everything.
Oh shit.
I didn't think it had any alcohol. I'm not sure what was in it, but I think there was maybe it was spiked with something else because my tolerance is pretty high, and I don't recall like ever drinking more than I did, and I felt very different from drunk. It was that after that it was a blur, but I do remember everything occurring.
So here's the thing. So before anyone says anything, oh, you're 18, you should have been doing that. Look, there are people watching the show right now, especially if you've come from a Latino background. You've had a beer or you've had some kind of alcoholic drink when you were 13. Or at least, that's how it was back in the day. Like, there are people out here that were in high school, they went to parties and drink. Maybe not everybody, maybe nobody watching this show live, but there are people out there that do it. So we're not going to shame you for, it's illegal to drink under the age of 21, but we're not going to shame you for it.
Yeah.
Because for one, you're not at fault. You are just an individual that was invited to a gathering. There are, I don't know about religious groups, but I know like in Texas, you can actually get away with drinking under the age of 21 as long as you have somebody like a guardian or somebody like that's a parent or guardian or anything like that present at the party that gives their hey, you got consent, because it's different than having it it's different than you buying it versus somebody else buying it and they share it with you.
Yeah.
So if I may ask something, if that's okay. I wanted to clarify with the room party, because there's things going around saying you had to show your ID before entering, and if you were underage, you were given a wristband so you couldn't drink, and if you were of age, you could drink. Is that true, or did they not care at all?
They did not care at all. I had a friend that was 15 that got up into the 18 plus area, and they were more strict about it in the 18 plus vendor hall, but I know like during the rave, once you were up there, you could join the rave and also engage in activities that minors should not be engaging in. And me, myself, I'm underage, and I was never given any wristband to show that I was underage.
So the wristband thing, we talked about it last night. Wi-Fi, that's our thing. That's actually our at our room party at Delta, we ID.
Yeah.
We give you wristbands. At our karaoke panel, we give you a wristband. You have to have the wristband to drink. If you're caught with a beer in your hand, I kick you out.
Good. That's good.
If you, we have a strict rule because we really don't want anyone in my room party. For one, I'm 35. I don't want anyone under the age of like 25 in my room, much less under
Oh, yeah.
21.
Yeah, that's valid.
So, but if you're 21, you're good to enter. We give you a wristband. You're good for the night. But we check the wristband. If it looks like it's been tampered with, we recheck your ID.
Yeah, that's how it should be with every single room party, but unfortunately, it's not, and it's an issue that needs to be, talked.
Right, but with Delta, like the con is aware, even the hotel is aware of the party. Like we book, like the room that we book in Sonic Scene, it has like its own little private hallway. It's like a 5-foot hallway that it has where we can close the door, and it provides extra, like it makes it more soundproof, so sound doesn't really get out as much. So when you like, it's loud, it's crazy in there. There's music. We had a concert in that room at one point. But we were like, okay, let's see some ID. And we've had people like try to bring they're like, oh, I brought my sibling with me. They're 18. All right, don't give them a wristband. You can't, and no one's allowed to fuck with our alcohol anyway.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Like, and if like we do, like our group, they do people do edibles. Let's just put it out there. People do edibles. Our group does do edibles, but nobody fucking shares in our group. Nobody even shares beds, much less, fucking other shit. People are allowed to do whatever they want, but they don't share shit because that's one of our rules. Like, hey, you bring your own shit, don't share it. If I catch you fucking sharing it, you're sleeping on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And like we're very strict on it because I've been going to room party. I've been going to cons since I was 19, and I've been to different room parties, and like they never like. I went into one where there was like, this was before the pandemic. There was a bunch of 19-year-olds in that room, and I knew the person running the party. I was like, Jesus Christ, bros, what is this? A fucking daycare? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And that's not like I'm trying to sound like, I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm not trying to be like an asshole. I mean, yeah, it sounds like I am an asshole right now.
No, it doesn't at all. No.
Yeah, Geeks 5 is basically G5E home turf. But like, here's the thing, Ava. I'm sorry, but if it had been me in my room party, I probably wouldn't have even let you in the room.
Yeah, and I would completely agree with that. And more people should be like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I do have people in my room that are under 21, but you don't see them drinking. And like, I can't control what they do outside of my room. People do fucking steal from my rooms. People have stolen cash from me. People have stolen my PlayStation. Somebody stole my Switch. People, like, somebody came into my room. We had like 10 bottles of alcohol laid out, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had like $200 in cash visible. You know what they stole? A 12-pack of Cokes, because apparently they hadn't had anything to eat or drink all weekend.
Oh, goodness.
It happens. Shit happens. You can't control everything. I'm not always in the room. So our Delta party is something where we try to be very strict. Now, can people slip by? Yeah. Fake IDs are a thing. Buying the fucking wristband at Party City is a thing. It can definitely happen. Like, but we try to, the con, like I said, the con is aware. As a matter of fact, I donated the wristbands to the con because the karaoke is a part of the convention, and it's a party panel. So like, we tell them like, hey, we brought these wristbands. We're going to start IDing the 21 and up people. So because and I told the head of security, bro, people are going to drink. Can't stop them. He's like, yeah, you're right. All right, let's do the wristband. So yeah, I mean, we do that, and it sucks, Ava, and I'm very sorry that happened to you. And you're young, you're under 21, so like, definitely, I would have not let you in my room. Like, who's this?
Yeah.
No, get him out. Get him the fuck out. I don't want him here. Secondly, like, no, yeah. I mean, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I can't even imagine like what you were feeling or going through that night.
It was very, very tough, but I was surrounded by people that helped me immensely out, and I appreciate them so much. But I'm slowly mentally and physically recovering, but it's going to be a long process. But
oh yeah,
No, I totally understand.
as somebody that's been roofied, you feel like absolute fucking death the next day. You just want to die. I've been hungover and I've been roofied. I've done all kinds of shit, guys. Like, okay, yes, I have a lot of injuries. I have like back problems now because I was in a car wreck. I had back problems. So I have to limit what I can and can't do. But like, I've gotten drunk before. I've been roofied, and I know the difference between being hungover and being roofied. Like roofied, you just want to die. Like you feel like death. You feel horrible. You feel sick. You feel like somebody, like when you are hungover, it feels like somebody is hitting your head with a hammer or somebody hit you with a car.
Yeah.
Roofies, you feel physically ill. Like,
Yeah, I could barely walk and get out of bed the next day. Like I woke up really, really late, and I knew because I've been hungover before, and I knew this felt off.
No, Deacon Rap. Oh, there's Deacon Rap, by the way. There's the individual that shared.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
But so what's like, you said you got to the room party about, because I'm trying not to get into full detail because I don't want to, like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but
Ava, is it okay if I DM you a screenshot on Instagram? I have a screenshot of a witness that is speaking out when they found you, but I don't know if you're comfortable with that being shared or not.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
You can share that.
Let me go ahead and DM you that to you. I don't know if you want that read out loud, so if you want to read that out loud, you can.
Okay.
Or did you want one of us to read it out loud?
I feel like I'm comfortable enough to read it out.
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. It won't let me send it to you. It says failed to be delivered on Instagram. I don't know why.
Is it a screenshot? What is it?
It's a screenshot of a story. Let me see if I can send the story. Hang on.
See if you can send it to me, and I'll send it. I'll send it to her. While we're waiting on that, gonna acknowledge some comments. I want to give a shout out to Blastoise, who hasn't been here in a while.
Hey Blastoise, how are you, man?
On? Out of all the Pokemon, I choose you, Blastoise. Pachinko is right. G5E is kind of like our home turf. That is our WrestleMania. That's our bigger con, even though they're a small con. We consider them our big con of the year. That's where we throw a party. That's where we go. We're all, as you can say, we're all in. It's because it's double or nothing.
Yeah, and we take over.
Yeah, we take over, and it's our WrestleMania.
Yeah, our WrestleMania weekend, basically.
Yeah. The law is the law. Only thing going for WEEBCON are the VAs. That is, yeah,
that is true.
There is some truth to that, or at least that's what we've heard.
Okay, the story was sent over to both of you.
Okay. Okay, there it goes. Is that a mutual friend of yours?
No, it's someone I haven't met yet, but it's one of my partner's friends.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if I was muted out, but I couldn't hear anything for like a hot minute, but I can hear now, so.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think maybe it was a glitch or something.
Yeah.
It happens. It's starting to happen a lot in this.
All right, so I did send it to you, Ava. I sent you a screenshot. If you want to read it, you are more than welcome to. The floor is yours.
Okay. Hello, I'm coming here to make a statement about what happened in my point of view, as many are tagging me about this situation. I'm not blaming anyone, nor am I here to cause trouble. As everyone is aware, I was at WEEBCON 2024. Unfortunately, as many of you are now aware, there was an incident at a room party where a cosplayer was sexually assaulted during this con. I did not touch or drink anything alcoholic and was completely sober. To enter the party, you had to show your ID before entering, and then you received a wristband to separate those who could and could not drink. A few people also stood by the restrooms to ensure no one passed out, or to provide assistance when needed. However, the few were not around during the situation. Late that night, around 2:40 a.m., I saw the victim enter the restroom alone. As my friend checked on her, I called an Uber to go home for the night. As I was grabbing my bag, a friend told me the victim was in the bathroom with a guy, and that this is when a few of us proceeded to bang on the bathroom door, calling out her name while trying to get the door opened. It is uncertain whether the individual observed in the restroom was the perpetrator. Nevertheless, they were discovered alone with the victim and were seen adjusting their clothing. Sorry. Is it okay if you read the rest?
Yes, I got it. Go ahead. If you want to take a minute, go ahead. All right. The victim was found undressed with only a few garments and foaming at the mouth. Both parties were intoxicated, but she did not receive any drinks at the party. The victim proceeded to tell us that she had consented. However, she was also told later that an intoxicated, incapacitated party could not give consent. We moved to help her and asked if she wished to be taken to the ER, which she denied. My Uber has arrived and now I had to head back home. This is my statement and this is my truth. Please do not ask me questions, tag me, or associate this incident with me. Oh shit. We probably should have asked before we shared it.
Hey, no, it's okay. I don't remember any of that, and I don't remember saying I consented, and I was completely blackout, and I don't remember anything. I
Look,
only remember him. Is it okay if I go in to provide a little bit more context?
yeah, look, whatever you need to do, whatever you want to do. This isn't a typical podcast. This is more of a sharing. This is
Or a forum.
Yeah, this is more of a forum. Go ahead, but whatever you want.
Okay, just laying out a trigger warning for, details in this, because I'm going to go into more of everything that happened, if that's okay. So I remember initially I told my friends I was going to the bathroom, and I'm pretty sure I locked the door behind me. And when I opened the door, I saw this man, and I looked at him, and I was really incapacitated. I was heavily intoxicated, and he looked at me, and I was just like, I just like slurred my words, like saying what, and then he walked towards me and turned me around and took my clothes off, and then didn't ask, just started doing it. And I remember him penetrating both areas, and I remember being in extreme pain, and after I don't remember what happened. But I know, because I'm a lesbian, and I know I would never consent to that, drunk or not. And I think I was extremely disassociated, and I was afraid to cause distress, so I said I consented at that moment, even though I did not, because I didn't want to cause any trouble. But I know I should have spoken truthfully, but I was still very intoxicated.
Just give us a moment.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So I don't even know how to fucking respond to that. I'm so sorry. It's like, yes, Blastoid said it. Please, thank you so much, Blastoids. Thank you for saying that, because I couldn't think right now. We are glad you're okay. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like it. You don't understand how much we appreciate you, because first off, like, just you coming up here and talking and sharing and going into this amount of detail is
It takes a lot.
unfathomable. It takes a lot. It's unfathomable. Like it takes a lot of guts, a lot of ganas, desire. It takes a lot of balls. It takes, as they say, as Latinos say as a joke, cojones. It takes a lot of bravery. Like there's no sugarcoating it. You, like, people say you're brave but it does take a lot to come forward and to share this, and we can hear it in your voice that it's not something that's easy to fucking talk about, and it's so fucking crazy. Like I can't even fucking imagine. And I know I keep cussing and I'm trying not to, and I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay. You're good.
God damn it. Fucking hell. It's so crazy because, like, like there are people out there right now that are legitimate fucking scumbags, fucking assholes. There's one dude who's taking upskirt photos of girls regardless of the fucking age, and I know who it is. I just don't have the fucking proof to deck him in the fucking schnoz.
Oh my god.
For one, I don't want to go to jail. Two, I don't want to get in trouble with any of the cons. I know some of the cons are probably watching because this is a very hot topic. But here's the thing. Like, that dude, fuck that dude. And the guy that did that to you, fuck him too. Like, I don't care if he, like, we kind of know who it is. We want to be 100%. Like, we need, like, it's kind of hard to say. So, guys, whenever we report on stuff, before we can oust anybody, one of the rules of journalism is we have to have, without it, like, we have, you know how they say you have to have enough evidence to convince the jury of a conviction.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same principle in journalism.
Yeah, it is.
But we, Ava, like 100%, we wholeheartedly know that you're telling the truth. We know you're not lying. Because I tell you why. Look, as somebody that drinks, as an alcoholic, I haven't really had. I've had a few drinks here and there, but I haven't gotten drunk since. Like, I didn't get drunk at Delta. I didn't get drunk at Colossal Con. I didn't do it at the Renaissance. I didn't do it at AllCon. Like, I just haven't been able to get shit faced anymore because I have other responsibilities now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. I'm just a little overwhelmed at the moment.
I'm sorry if also you need to take a moment to.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine. It's just that look, I have. So I'm going to share with everybody. Here's something that nobody knows. So everyone kind of knew that I kind of went away for a while. With the podcast ended last year abruptly. We didn't announce a season finale. We didn't announce we were going on hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
The last show we did, we actually said we'll be back next week, and then I just kind of disappeared. Like, my mental health was so bad, I actually contemplated suicide. Like, I was really close to doing it.
I'm so sorry.
So a lot of people don't know that.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's like, yeah, it's not water under the bridge, but it's something that I don't really worry about right now. Mm-hmm. So, and I just have really shitty memory. Like, we could be talking right now and I will instantly forget everything you just said to me. And that's not because it's like a defect in my brain because of my mental health.
Yeah, it's like disassociating a bit.
Right. Oh, okay. Yes, I remember now. So as somebody that's been drinking, I've had many different drinks. I've been roofied twice. The first thing that fucking party did, they said that you didn't drink. You said you had a couple drinks?
I had 2 shots. Yes, I did.
So they were serving alcohol with energy drinks. First off, that's a no-no.
Yes.
Massive no-no.
Anyone that knows anything about alcohol knows that you don't fuck with energy drinks and alcohol. That's why a lot of us don't touch Four Locos.
Yeah, I took so the vodka out on the table, I knew it was alcoholic, but I didn't know the green drink. It was in like a jug in like a dispenser, because I asked if there was any energy drinks, and I drank a full cup, and I believe there was something more inside of there that I wasn't told or aware of.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think they put something. They could have mixed it. They could have laced it. It could have been a roofie. It could have been something else. It could have been like a drug, an edible. Maybe I'm wrong, guys, on that one. I don't really know that much about like drugs. I know we've joked around about them, but in actuality, I don't know as much as I have made it out to seem like I have. Because you got to understand, when me and Sonic do our regular show, the characters we play on the shows don't actually reflect who we are in real life.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, like, the mental health thing. A lot of people didn't know that about me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like energy drinks. So there was a study, like alcohol is it's like a kind of like a muscle relaxer. there was a study that they show like, hey, that you're the most attractive when you have like a single drink. After that, it's all downhill because your muscles are no longer tense; they relax. And where energy drinks kind of speed up, they're kind of like an adrenaline rush. They're raising the rate of your heart. So you are mixing a downer with an upper, and actually does a lot of damage to your body. And that could like make you sick much faster.
Yeah, I was not aware like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, uh, Benny, thank you for sharing. Actually, I was in the room as well, and I drank a lot of the green drink, and I couldn't sleep for 2 days. Yeah. So that's bad. They shouldn't have mixed alcohol. I guarantee you, the people that were making those drinks were like under 25. They were probably
Yeah,
like
they probably had
21-year-olds.
Yeah, they're probably like rookies and stuff in terms of making drinks.
That's why we have an actual bartender for our rooms.
Yeah.
Like we don't go all out. We cheap shit like off-brand Sprites and vodka and then like tequila, but we don't like whoever our guy is, because we do have a guy. We have a girl. She's cool. I love her. She's my buddy's fiance. Really good girl. Awesome. She mixes our drinks and she tells us, okay, get this, get that, don't get that, get this. Don't ever mix these. Like legitimately certified bartender telling us, don't ever mix energy drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you're really young, so it's understandable that you don't really know because you're new to life. I'm not trying to say that you're like that you're not smart or you're naive.
I understand what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You have a whole lot of life to experience. Trust me, I went through it. I learned a lot of life. I learned a lot of I made a lot of dumbass decisions. You know, I make dumbass decisions now, and I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
But like what you went through is something that no one should ever have to go through.
I agree. I agree.
And it happens so fucking often. It doesn't people think that it kind of happens a little bit more often now than before. I think it's look, once is too much. Let's just put it out there. One time is too many. It's not. And fuck. So you said that you do remember some stuff about the incident. You couldn't have consented because, for one, you don't play for that team anyway.
Yeah.
You know, do you remember them getting helped up? Do you remember getting any kind of assistance afterwards? Anything at all?
I don't remember what the individual that I read the statement. I don't remember being on the floor like foaming at the mouth or anything like that. I don't remember. The last thing I remember is my friends transported me to their hotel room and it out of the Gaylord Texan. And the last thing I remember is kind of gaining consciousness, and I asked my friend to wash me off because I couldn't physically do it myself. And I remember them really helping and supporting me in that moment. And I remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember any banging at the door. I don't remember any of that. I think I was fully out of it. I think I fully just. Yeah, I wasn't in there in that moment.
It's kind of hard to imagine. It's kind of hard. Like you want to think like, were you frightened? Were you scared? Like you just kind of like, you didn't know, you couldn't tell the difference between reality or if it was like real or a dream or.
I couldn't tell. I do remember in the moment when he was assaulting me that I remember being in pain, and I had in thoughts in the back of my mind, if I tried to resist, he would hurt me, and so I just kind of let it happen. but I don't remember anything like laying on the floor or anything.
To kind of answer this comment, one of our followers, Great Riddick, says, "I'm here finally. What is going on with WEEBCON?" So, just to kind of share, long story short, bro, the sexual assault victim is our guest, Miss Ava, was more than willing to come on and share what happened, what kind of what led up to it, what she remembers, anything that she's willing to share with. She's been brave enough to come up here and talk. So yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. And to address, and we're gonna get to this one in a minute. It's up to you. You don't have to. Oh, but you did. But yeah, you don't have to, but you can. So with the aftermath, what actions will be done? Police report. Maybe go to your woman doctor to check everything. If so, maybe start with the room number and have the authorities take it from there. So we do actually know the room number. It's 2211. And but the con did reach out to you. Is that correct?
Yes, I can read what they said if you want me to.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to, that's complete. Like I said, the floor is yours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so initially, they replied to my story and they said, or they reached out and they said, "Hello. First, we want to apologize for what happened to you. It's egregious and you deserve to have a good time without fear of being assaulted. We hope you receive the justice you deserve. We can and will provide any evidence to aid in a police report should you choose to file one. Secondly, we apologize for the delay on this response. I, the primary social media manager in charge of messages, was away from my phone, thus caused the delay in our team's response. Finally, we hope you get the assistance you need in your investigation, and we are working internally to put systems in place to aid victims to have access effectively report any assault in 2025. Thank you for bringing this to our attention so we can be better for next year." And then I thank them for listening and, putting, systems in place next year. And I said that the assaulter may have been identified because one of my friends found his Instagram and they replied back, "We are so relieved to hear you were able to identify your attacker, and we would be happy to assist in any way with a police report or any additional help you need from us. Additionally, we would appreciate if you could let us know who they are so we can put them on our ban list and protect future con goers. Their name will be placed on the ban list, and no staff or volunteers will be notified as to who requested their name on it to protect your identity." And I sent them the account and they asked if I have their full legal name and if I filed a police report. And I said I haven't filed a police report because I'm not in Texas currently and I don't live in Texas, and I'm not sure if I would have to file the report there. But I haven't been to a doctor or anything just because I've had really I don't want anything to do with it, and I've really avoided. I just wanted to like move on, but now looking back I feel like I definitely should try to get a rape kit done. I just don't know if any DNA is going to be in there anymore. But I can file a police report, but court hearings would have to be in Texas and I live 5 hours away and I can't afford that. So I just don't know.
So let us know. Like, okay, so this is for you to think about it. If you do decide to pursue legal actions, and they do have court, because they can do court hearings over Zoom.
Mm-hmm. You can do virtual ones, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You can definitely do court hearings over Zoom now. Because I had to do one over Zoom because I was in a car wreck. I'm not going to go into detail because they're watching this show now, apparently. I will say this though: you can do it over. In worst case scenario, you do have to come down here if you need assistance. We can try to rally up the community and see if we can help you. Like, we can take donations, start a GoFundMe, something like that. We don't want you to feel like we feel sorry for you and that we want to it's not like it's not out of like pity or
it's not like, well,
it's empathetic.
Yeah, and that's amazing, and I'm so grateful for every one of you that have supported me. Like, I didn't think that I would get so much support, but I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, because you like it's. Let's not sugarcoat it. So once people found out who, like, once we got an idea who did it, first off, I'm not gonna say who, but he has the fucking name Ain't Woke as part of his fucking
Username.
screen name, username.
I know.
First off, fucking hell. Joining us is my producer. She is our the voice of the goddesses. She's always in the background, except now where none of us are on camera, so it's kind of like she's one of us. Dankpuss.
Hey everybody, I hope I'm not coming in at like the worst time.
There was no right time, unfortunately, for today's episode.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: a lot of us already know, like a lot of us already know who, and there's a lot of people that have already expressed. There are a lot, and I'm going to use very colorful words. There are a lot of people that want this guy to be eating his breakfast from now on through a straw.
Yeah.
But we cannot agree or condone violence towards the individual. Yeah, go ahead. I sent her the link, by the way. We cannot, like, we have to look at this from a legal standpoint, and we have to let the law. Is the justice system perfect? Absolutely not. There are people right now in jail that are innocent. But that's neither here nor there. That's a different topic for a different show, for a different podcast. But with that being said, like, whatever you need from us, whatever you need from this community, because look, like, we have a lot of people right now in the comment section just showing their support.
I know. I've seen that, and I appreciate each and every one of you in the comments giving any support.
People watching from YouTube, from Twitch, both channels. And it's, first off, I want to say I'm sorry. Just this whole situation is just horrible, and it sucks. And as somebody that's been like the victim of something like this, and some like it's horrible.
Yeah.
Dankpuss just dropped out. Let me see there she goes. Okay. Yeah,
I'm not from home right now.
You're fine. You're fine. You should have all right, so I know we don't have you here, Ava, for that much longer. We do have another individual coming in, but whatever. Like I said, the comment section, we're here for you. The comment section's here. Hopefully, I don't want you. I would actually love for you to come back to Texas to a con, and we would love to meet you in person.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going to either Fan Expo Dallas or maybe a future con there. I know there's a horror con going there. I know it's a different scene, but I may attend either one. But I would absolutely love to meet any of you. Like,
Yeah,
I understand.
Which is, and if you need anything, if you from us, if it's something that you feel like you can't talk, there it goes. If it's something that you want to talk, technical difficulties. If it's something that you want to talk to somebody and you don't have anyone to go to, like, we're always here. And if it's like, if you don't want to talk to me or Sonic, Dankpuss is also here.
Yeah.
And the Wi-Fi wife is definitely here.
Yeah.
We're all here for you. Like, it's not easy. This is like, guys, just put it out there. This is something that it's going to be a long road for recovery, no matter for anyone. It doesn't matter. But, you are very strong. You are a lot stronger than most people I've met. Because some people, it breaks them. It breaks them so bad.
yeah, I really, really thank you for that.
Okay, we got another comment. Yeah, so consider Delta HCon family-owned, friendly, safe convention. We were actually just talking about Delta HCon. Delta HCon is like the G5E con. That's where
Yeah.
we get most of our
If
stuff.
anything, G5E's back has been hurting carrying the con in a way.
Yeah, right. Nah, they've been doing
but
a good job.
with all due respect, we appreciate them for everything they've done for us. And what they do for we do for them. It's like
I
a
love,
synergy.
yeah, I love Delta HCon. I've had great moments. I've hosted single social gathering, karaoke. I almost got into a fist fight with Voltaire. Great times. All right, but is there anything that you would like? Is there anything that you would like to say to people, like just based off of like any kind of advice or a statement or anything like that?
Yes, of course. I want to apologize to each and every single one of you that have ever been in a similar situation or have had your sexual boundaries pushed. And I think it's one of the most horrific things anyone can endure. And don't be afraid to speak up. People will rally and support you no matter what. If any of you need to talk, I am also here for every single one of you. I want to be a support.
Mhm.
And I just want to apologize again to anyone who is still here with us that has endured any of this. And I want to let anyone know that you're strong, you're resilient, your voice matters.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Everyone's voice
Exactly.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. I'm trying to address because people are still sending us stuff. Apparently, there's a lot of stuff that we didn't talk about. We briefly talked about yesterday about the situation that happened in 22. We call it the 2211 incident because we didn't want to use your name. We don't want to use any names or anything like that. So we called it the 2211 incident.
Yeah.
So, guys, when it comes to that, there are some rules when it comes to drinking at cons. For one, there's a reason why we talked about it yesterday, but there's a reason why a lot of the people that do drink at cons, like especially me, we now have closed container bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you ever notice that a lot of us are using the thermal cups with lids?
Yep. Stanley's and all that stuff.
Yeah, like legit. Like, we're using the thermal cups now because that's become a real thing, and it's not just like it's everybody. Doesn't matter what sex, what gender, what species, whatever like you are. It doesn't matter what the color your skin is. It doesn't matter how tall, how short. People are slipping shit into, like, people are doing that shit, and it's fucking horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And like, people treat it as a fucking joke now, and I don't understand that shit either.
Yeah.
Like this happened to you, Ava, and I'm really sorry. But I hear people all the time that will say that shit like it's a joke.
I know. I've witnessed some of that, and it makes me truly sick to my stomach how these people can walk the earth freely.
Mhm.
This legitimately happened. I think it was at I don't know if it was at Delta, or I don't know if it was it was at a small con. I think it was at a con in Austin. I'm not really 100% sure. But I had a drink in my hand, and somebody asked me, "Oh, what are you drinking?" "Oh, I got tequila." And she's like, "Oh, can I try it?" I'm like, "I guess." And then she was like, "Oh, hey, you're not gonna roofie me, are you?" And I got fucking pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I was like, "Give me my fucking drink back."
I agree with this comment. It says, it starts out as a joke until it happens to them. They start singing in a different tune. I totally agree with that. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, because it's happened to me. It's happened to like several people I know. It's like it happened to a friend of mine as well. It happened 1 year at OniCon to a friend of ours. I think I was like 21 or 22 at the time, and our friend had just turned 18, and they went into a room party, and they gave her like an open drink. It was a Dr. Pepper can that had mixed. They mixed the drink in the Dr. Pepper can, which is already a red flag, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't
Mhm.
a drink that's in a Coke can that's already opened. They make Jack Daniel's Coke cans like where it's already mixed, but those are sealed. If it's open and it says Coca-Cola and it's mixed with alcohol and other stuff, don't take it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. I just had a just drinking.
That was
poor timing. I'm sorry.
Poor timing.
I'm so sorry.
But Ava, like I said, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. It takes a lot, and we appreciate you so much. And we'll keep in contact with you. We definitely want you to come back to Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. No, thank you. If you need anything from us, anything from the community, did you want to plug in your? Yeah, please let us know. Did you want to plug in your social media so people can?
Yeah,
follow you?
sure. So I have Instagram, and that's at security breached. It's on my my name in the stream. And then my TikTok is Cozlay, so COZSLAY, and then my other one is Pink Amina. In the Mina, it's a 3. So that's pretty much all I use on social media.
Okay. Awesome stuff. Awesome.
By the way, if you're joining us from the Discord for WeEBCON, shout out to you. I did post the link. Some of you guys are. I think people have already started like. So before we so we're gonna talk. We actually have a guest on here. I believe she is one of the cosplay competition winners.
Hello. Yes.
Yes. Did you? Is it Lunar?
Yes, Lunar works.
Okay, good. Okay, because I'm dyslexic. I was like, what?
No worries.
I thought it was Luna, but with an R. I was like, Luna R?
Honestly, I've gotten that a lot. But you can use 1 or 2 L's to distinguish me from the other person that uses Lunar.
Yes.
Yeah, the not good Lunar.
No,
Lunar
thank you
1,
for
Lunar 2.
thank you for joining us. It's been a rough 2 days. I think you wanted to come on yesterday, but the show is just like overly packed and.
No, it's fine. I mean, I was super busy yesterday as well, so it does. It was a much better day for me to come.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you that are just joining us, the Wi-Fi wife is here joining us. So I got to give a shout out to Wi-Fi wife again, because we did this in the beginning of the show, but we're in the second hour, and we got to kind of do our plugins real quick because we kind of have to. It's not a choice. Oh wait, no, we don't. We did it yesterday. It's once a week. Okay, so I don't have to do that crap. But Wi-Fi wife, let me put it out there. No one. If you ever look up in the Urban Dictionary for wants all the smoke, there's a picture of Wi-Fi wife.
Yeah, she'd be a great member of the Street Profits.
As soon as shit went down, she suited up like Batman and put foot to ass. Like Jesus Christ.
Literally.
She was a thief in the night.
Like every time I needed information, like every time somebody sent me a screenshot, it was from Wi-Fi wife. Like, look what they shared. A lot of it was from like, because I saw like because whenever you shared something, somebody would share your stuff with me. Like, oh look what we found out.
Yeah, I tried to share as much as possible, whatever I could find. I was like diving in the river at that point.
Right. So it's thanks to you and thanks to Deacon Rap, we were able to talk to Ava. We were able to talk to some of the other individuals. We've actually talked to some vendors to protect their identity. I'm not going to say who.
Yeah.
But I've talked to like 3 different vending groups from the con. So a lot of people are saying that I've been accused of lying. I've been accused of making shit up, going for clout. The whole pillar crushing the vendor's leg. Keep in mind that was told to me by other vendors who witnessed that happen. Yeah. Oh, because I reported yesterday that a pillar fell and crushed one of the vendor's legs. And people are like, well, I didn't see that. That didn't happen. You're making shit up because I didn't see it. Like,
yeah, see, I didn't see it either, but I heard you talking about it, and that's when I shared that. But like, there's no news articles about it. There's no photos about it. There's just people saying that. So we weren't there. We don't know, but people did witness it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was one of my vendor friends, and they're pretty reliable. They hate tea. They don't like attention. Actually, they agreed to let me share the story if it was off the record.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
off the record, for those of you like, I can share the story, but I can't like say who the source is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I guess that's what
Like
it
a
is.
blind item.
Yeah, it was like an
Yeah.
anonymous tip, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. So they said it happened. Now it's not like the guy got crushed until like he's gonna lose his leg or anything like that.
Okay,
But-
that's good that he didn't lose his leg.
So they told me that it fell, it crushed his leg, it hurt him. This was during loadout, so there isn't going to be anyone there. The general public will not be in the area during loadout.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that actually makes a lot of sense. And there were reports of ambulances at the convention. So that
I
definitely
will
makes more
say
sense.
that I did see on someone else's story that they took a photo of that exact ambulance taking the person out with the pillar falling and everything.
So they
Like there is photo evidence that people have taken. Like a bunch of people have seen it.
I believe it. I believe somebody took a photo. They just haven't been. So because it was after, and it was pretty much all said and done. Like the general public was gone. There weren't a lot of people, just vendors, and vendors are pretty hush hush. They don't care about tea or sharing or getting. They don't care about any of that crap.
Yeah.
They're just there to make it, because some of them that's their full-time jobs, being a vendor.
Mm-hmm.
So like I completely honestly believe my friend, and another person did say like, yeah, I heard something about that happening. I didn't see it happen, but I heard about that. Like, so this was before we announced it yesterday, because I asked around yesterday. So whenever me and Dankapus got any kind of story, whenever we got any kind of information, we asked like, hey, did you hear about this? And then some people would be like, yeah, let me tell you what happened. And our people are like, no, but I heard about it. Like, I heard something along the lines of, but I don't know if like there was so much that happened at the con. There's so many stories that we couldn't go over everything yesterday. It was impossible. Like 3 hours. I thought 3 hours was going to be enough. 3 hours was not enough time. And then there were still people that wanted to come into the show early. They couldn't come into the show. But Lunar, you were in the cosplay competition.
I was, yes.
So tell us about that, because people are now, we're starting to get more and more information. The pieces to this puzzle are finally being put together, and we're starting to get a full image. But we want to get your firsthand experience.
Yes. First of all, I wanted to introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, hi. I'm Lunar. I'm a full-time engineering student and cosplay competitor. I typically frequent the Dallas and Austin conventions. So I was at WEEBCON in January. I've competed at 4 competitions. I have won a total of 4 awards, and I have always been in the journeyman/intermediate division. So starting off, basically my experience signing up was pretty okay. I got an acceptance email from them. I don't know the specific date, but basically a few weeks before the con date, basically going through everything that was going to happen. All of, you need to email back for a time slot. Pretty much usual information. I was recommended against doing the contest by a couple friends after I had gotten that email. However, I'd already signed up, and I felt really guilty disqualifying myself or taking myself out of the competition. So I ended up competing. When I showed up, prejudging went fine. It was timed for about 5 minutes, talk for 3. The judges asked questions for 2. I was asked one question by the judges. They did come up and look at my pieces. So I do kind of trust that at least the people who came up and looked at my pieces knew what they were doing and knew kind of how to judge a cosplay. However, when the actual competition rolled around, that's when the issues really started. They started lining us up around 5:15, and everything went fine. The workers were fantastic. I want to say that right now. This has nothing to do with how anyone who was working the floor or how the coordinator acted. The workers on the floor were offering us chairs, were offering us water. They were attending to our pretty much every need while we were waiting to go on stage, and I do really appreciate that. So lining up went pretty smoothly. The workers clearly explained what we were supposed to do. We were kind of watching the stage lights go up, and they constructed a catwalk that went further than the stage lights. And I do know someone in photography who was a little bit worried about that, just because our cosplays weren't going to be lit on stage.
Mm-hmm.
When the actual competition rolled around, obviously, I know a lot of you people were probably told, come in at 7. We're starting the competition at 7. First of all, they made us sign up at 5, 2 hours before the competition start, which is a lot of time, but it's not the longest I've waited for a competition start, so I can't excuse that. However, they did start the walk-ons at 6:45. So all of the competitors were told that we were starting our walks at 6:45. However, everyone that was waiting outside was told to wait until 7 to come in. So a lot of people who were coming in to see their just for fun or novice friends did miss their walk-ons, which is very important for them. Also, for the halftime show, supposedly they had an idol group lined up. I cannot state the validity of that comment, but they ended up picking a different group, which did not last the full judges' deliberation time, which is not the group's fault. They were probably not told how long it would be. It seems like everyone was kind of unsure how long the judges would take.
Yeah, that's I
to
can. I
answer your
was going to
question real
say.
quick, too.
Yeah, go ahead and ask the question.
Okay, someone asked if the judges were the same cosplayers who were always cosplay guests at shows back to back. I'm not sure what that fully means.
So
but
let me elaborate on that question. So
Okay.
like so this is a thing that used to happen back in the day. It doesn't happen as much anymore. It almost doesn't happen anymore. But where the judges, like, if let's say you've gone to 5 cons this year, right?
Okay.
Not that you actually been to 5 cons, and you constantly see the same cosplay judges at every convention.
Absolutely not. These people are people that admittedly I did not know when the judges were announced. I looked them up and I didn't see much about craftsmanship on their page. However, I did trust that they did craftsmanship because WEEBCON hired them for a reason. It has come out that a lot of them commission most of their cosplays. However, I don't blame them for that, obviously. We all do it. But I did trust that they knew about craftsmanship after the prejudging. Honestly, the last competition I did was at IkiCon, and I believe 2 of the judges that were judging at IkiCon actually don't even reside in Texas. And I think all of these judges were from Texas, if I remember. But yeah, returning to my story, the halftime show was very short. Again, not the fault of the people who were running the halftime show. And what ended up happening was the MC came out and just made a statement of, you guys are going to have to wait for an indefinite period of time. We don't know how long this is going to be. We cannot tell you an estimated period of time. Just play some music and wait. And that ended up making a ton of the guests, or not the guests, but the attendees ended up leaving the contest before awards were even announced.
What the hell?
Yeah. And then when the judges came back out and awards were announced, there were 3 awards for each category, and there were 3 judges' awards. So 1 award for each judge, and then in each category there was best performance, best craftsmanship, best division, and then overall there was best in show. When the awards were announced, there was no context for what the award even was or why the participant even won the award. I personally won the performance award in the journeyman category for my Nico cosplay from League of Legends.
Mhm.
And I was shocked that I won that division just because I assumed that a performance award would have gone to one of the two skits that performed. However, it did not. And I was very confused until another competitor had to explain that award to me a few days later. When I went on stage to receive my award, no one presented me with any sort of award. When I asked for something to hold, because they mentioned there was going to be an all winners photo, which I don't remember them ever taking, they told me that there was nothing for me to hold awards wise because, quote unquote, when they asked for the con to print those awards, the con never did. I want to make it very clear that there were other competitors who won physical awards. Best in Show won awards, Best in Divisions won awards, and all of the judges' awards got little like metal plaques. However, for Best Performance and Best Craftsmanship in each division, there was some sort of issue and we never got our awards. Obviously, this is unprofessional at best, giving some people awards and other people not awards, but knowing that there is a FedEx in the venue, I did take offense to them not even bothering to print paper awards.
It's kind
Yeah.
of wild.
Yeah.
I also heard that a cosplay group was not allowed to do their cosplay contest skit because of miscommunication with WEEBCON. I don't know exactly what happened with that, but
Yeah, I can address that to what I know. A lot of people who applied to be judges, or not judges, but a lot of people who applied to be contestants were actually not given an email back, whether they were approved or denied to be contestants. When I was at the prejudging booth, there were about 2 or 3 people who ended up showing up asking if they could be admitted into the contest because they signed up and they didn't receive an email. And so they assumed that that meant they had gotten completely like ghosted.
Yeah.
And I don't remember anyone receiving denial emails. So I don't know if them just not sending an email was them ghosting or them denying. But that was an issue that appeared a lot within the cosplayers that actually signed up.
yeah. For
I
the
wanna,
email thing. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll continue the email thing. I was just gonna address some comments.
Yeah, no, I'm on it. We'll address them in a minute.
It was off topic from the cosplay contest. It was another issue for the email thing. If you still want me to address or wait.
Oh, well, the comments are related to the cosplay contest.
Yeah, go ahead and read the comments.
By Yarimisu49. What was the explanation for the performance awards?
Yeah.
We can get to that in a minute because that's actually part of the story. We just so I call him Yami for short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rain, I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of out of the blue, but
yeah. But you know what? Thank you for coming on here and commenting. We appreciate it. I kind of agree with you. Trisky says, no offense to cosplayers, but I just can't sit through a whole cosplay show. And
I mean, especially if it's delayed like that too.
Oh yeah, understandable. And especially if they make you wait for an indefinite period of time. I can completely understand why a lot of people left.
Yeah, I have done 2 walk-ons as Captain Mexico. As soon as I'm off the stage, I leave, and that's not to be rude. The cosplay, the armor, the torso weighs 15 pounds, and I wear like workers' boots, and those things are like, I wear a size 14, so my shoes weigh about 10 pounds. So I have about 30 pounds worth of like just stuff on me because I have an actual utility belt with hooks and a bag and everything. And like Jace can attest to this. He's actually lifted up the cosplay and he literally looked me in the eye and said, "What the hell's wrong with you?" So
that's understandable.
The reason why it's a tactical vest armor, and sometimes I have the plates inside, and sometimes I don't have the plates inside. It just depends on how safe I feel.
Mm-hmm. And comfortable.
Yeah. So I'm not going to explain why I have to wear bulletproof vest while I'm. Let's just say that whenever I dress up as Captain Mexico, sometimes I feel the need that I have to wear the bulletproof plating inside my vest. I'm just going to leave it at that. So let's address the email thing.
So it has to deal with photography. I know my partner personally applied for photography, and never heard back from WeedCon. No denial email, no acceptance. And when I was at the con themselves, I was looking around and at Photographers Next and looking at their badges, and I saw no press badges whatsoever. So I don't know what WeedCon did with that.
I want to add to that. We applied. We did apply for press like late February, early March, and we were like, we didn't even get a notification, nothing. We got ghosted, and it wasn't until we got there. It's like, you know what, I might as well just buy a badge because I don't want to deal with it. You know.
That's what happened to us. Yeah.
Yeah. Which
wait. You didn't get the badge?
No, we didn't. I applied like March the 2nd, and we didn't get nothing.
I know you applied because we talked about it, but I didn't know you didn't get it.
Yeah, we didn't. We got nothing. We got ghosted essentially.
What the fuck? Okay.
We both had to pay $80 for their badge.
Yeah, I was able to pay $60 because thanks to my honey on the browser, I was able to find a promo code, and I was like, okay.
Oh, nice.
$65. Okay, sure. Save me $15.
All right. Well, we'll see about getting your reimbursement.
Shout out to Honey.
Yeah, thanks. A quick plug to Honey. Please sponsor us, by the way.
Yes, I need all the coupons I can get. That's messed up. So I didn't know that. So, well, obviously, because we had a lot. So me and Sonic, we split up the cons. I went to AllCon in Dallas, Texas, which was amazing. It's a great small con. I love it. We had 2 memorial services there. They were both very touching. We did one for Akira Toriyama, and we did one for a local cosplayer. I believe his name is Daniel. I think it's Callahan. It was a beautiful service. His family was there. A lot of people in Captain America cosplays there. We live streamed it for them, so people that couldn't attend could actually still watch the service.
Yeah.
And the con was so great. Everyone was like drinking in the lobby. Everyone's partying. But by 12, after they did the balloon giveaway, everyone kind of went off to their rooms. People were sharing alcohol with each other. Like, no, there was no issues. Nobody was questioning anything. Nothing like significantly happened. One person went to the hospital, but they weren't part of the con. It was actually a very elderly person that was being stretched out, and they had an oxygen tank on them. So I guess something might have happened. Because we were wondering if something had happened. Like at one point, I don't want to get into too much about the con, but it was an amazing con. And Sonic's like, hey, I want to go to WeebCon. And I legitimately asked him, what the hell is WeebCon? And then he explained to me, okay, go ahead. We'll review it. We'll do like a 45-minute review.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had other plans. We were going to talk about WrestleMania. Our shit talk, like today, it's our shit talk podcast. We normally do shit talk on Tuesdays, and we just talk shit about random stuff. We're like, hey, that show's canceled. We're gonna do WeebCon, and then like in the middle of WeebCon, okay, we're gonna have to do a part 2. And then last night, okay, we might even have to do a part 3 because there's just way too much. And people flooded our messages, Facebook, Instagram. People were emailing me. It was so nuts that to think, and I had no clues. And I'm so sorry, Sonic, because I would have been like, no, maybe you should just skip it. I'm kind of glad you went. At the same time, I'm so sorry that you had to spend your own money.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's okay too, because it's not just me that was affected. It was also affected my significant other. She had to, take time off, had to request all that stuff just to be at the convention, and just to, drop out and just say, hey, I can't go because, we didn't get press or anything like that. Not saying that, like, I still would have gone regardless. But anyway, yeah, it's just like they normally, like, some of these conventions, like, oh, if you send them an like ahead of time, obviously, they were like, okay, you should get a response within 2 weeks. And it's like, it was like almost a month away from the convention. I'm like, dude, what's going on? I thought that happened. And also the comments, someone said the MC was actually found at the last second. The original scheduled MC was the 4th cosplay guest that did not show up to the contest. So boy, that's another shit list, I guess.
Yeah, I want to confirm that. I heard that from some of the staff. Supposedly the fourth cosplay guest had a wardrobe malfunction in her cosplay and refused to participate in the contest, so they had to find an MC last minute.
Oh wow.
The MC did a good job at the contest. Like for being last minute, they knew what they were doing.
Okay. Which is good. It's good to like at least they knew what they're doing, because
Yeah.
it's not often you get one and then sometimes they'd be panicking, they would like kind of mess up, you know what I mean?
Oh, like
Definitely.
I can completely relate to that. So this happened at AllCon. I took my Captain Mexico cosplay, and I didn't have a wardrobe malfunction, but I forgot my boots. I almost did not. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna wear it. I'm not gonna go out there, just host my panels and come back. I don't want to do anything. But I ended up buying boots so I could wear it, because if something malfunctions, something falls apart,
Yeah,
if I
you
forget
feel
something, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, you feel frustrated and all that stuff.
Yeah. And it happens because cosplays, believe it or not, guys, cosplays aren't really built to last a long time. But I did want to bring something up because it was mentioned yesterday, and yesterday during the show, there were moments in time where I had to go and message people, address comments, messages, like privately. They were being sent to us in the middle of the show. And you can kind of see it in my face where I'm like looking in different directions because I have an ultra wide, so I have to like turn my head to look at the screen. Somebody had mentioned sandbagging.
Yes.
So for those of you that don't know what sandbagging is, it's when somebody wins an award with a cosplay and they keep wearing that cosplay to win other awards, continuous awards at different events, and they just kind of drag it throughout. Is that correct?
So that is true. The caveat to get around that is obviously if you've won a minor award, so a judge's award doesn't count towards sandbagging, or if you participate in a different division. So there was someone who competed at WEEBCON in the beginners division, and they actually moved up to intermediate after winning an award at this convention and actually won intermediate. And they do have a really good cosplay, so they deserve it.
Who's the person that I guess they're accusing somebody of sandbagging? Would you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about anyone sandbagging. The only things I know are just people moving up ranks, which should be legal by what I know in terms of competitions.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, because if you made it and you're an intermediate and it's like, hey, this was so good that you should run it as a master.
Like advance, like upgrade your tier, I guess.
Yeah. I know that as long as you bump it up a level, it shouldn't technically be sandbagging, because sandbagging counts when you either drop down a level purposely for a cosplay. Like if you make another cosplay and you realize, oh, it's probably not as good as the other one that I just made that I participated as journeyman with, and you jump down to beginner to compete with that. Or if you win with a cosplay as journeyman and you still try to cosplay contest it as a journeyman cosplay, that's not going to work. Another technical example of sandbagging is the person in the cosplay community that got outed for importing their cosplays or commissioning them from Russia and competing them as their own, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, I heard a story about some guy that dressed up as the Monkey King, and he was not only sandbagging it, but he didn't make his cosplay, and like it was a whole big deal, and he was winning money too. Like he was legitimately winning prize money, and it was like a big ordeal. It was a few years ago. I've heard different stories. I've been cosplaying long enough I remember when sandbagging was a real fucking issue. Like there was one person that did the same, like they were young, so they did the same cutesy fucking skit ever at every con, and they always won. They always entered the same category, same level, and they always fucking won an award. I'm like, I've seen the same fucking skit like 8 times. The same one. And I'm like, we even told like the people that ran the concert, like, that's like the 4th time they've done that. Like, I didn't know that. If I had known that, we wouldn't have given them the award. Like, yeah, because like sandbagging was a real thing at one point. Not everyone was guilty of it, but there were a handful of people that kind of were.
Yeah.
I want to say cosplay competitions have gotten better over time. Now, WeeBCon, here's the thing. So I don't know how much you heard about what happened, like what led up to WeeBCon with the cosplay event director and everything.
Personally, yes. I have talked to quite a few people that are on the staff or that are associated with the staff. One person even being associated with the director that was hired last minute. Yeah, I understand that it's not their fault what happened, and I don't hold any of that against them.
We have a question in the comment section. What about those who keep winning at the same show but different cosplay? What do you mean, like at the same competition, like the same con? And
I'm assuming yes.
I know there are people that, so I know there are cosplay makers that enter the competition, but they have people model their stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So I know that is possible. I haven't really seen that a lot lately, but I used to see that a lot. Like I saw people make the cosplays, but they wouldn't wear them. Oh, this is my model. I made the cosplay. I've seen that a few times. I guess technically it is possible to, but that's really hard to get away with because cosplay judges won't repeat. They won't give the same person like multiple awards, or at least try to avoid giving them multiple awards.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing the same show like year after year after year and winning with different cosplays, you should be fine.
Oh yeah, that's different. Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
entering masters and you have a different cosplay every year and you keep winning, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and then the comment that just was received, discussing if they're friends with people at the cosplay contest and winning. I do want to mention I've talked with my friends that are a judge. I've purposely avoided cons where my friend has judged, but I have also discussed with them and said if there was an unfortunate event where I didn't know you were judging, what would happen? And ideally, what they said was, hey, that happens, but typically we will walk out of the room or basically like take ourselves out of the situation when it's being judged, give our points, but leave the final judging up to the other judges. Just because it would be unfair for someone to have final say in their friend winning or losing an award.
So I have been a cosplay judge. I've been a cosplay events coordinator before. I can tell you, it's great. It's awesome. If you like that thing, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But that's not because I had a bad experience. That's not my thing. I will say this. So my friend won best craftsmanship. He was my friend. And I did kind of like encourage him. Let me tell you why though. And I have a really good explanation. He was cosplaying Heavy Metal Chris. So he was Chris Redfield from Resident Evil 5 with the metal armor. And he actually made and welded the metal plating for his cosplay and made a Gatling gun. It was a 150-pound Gatling gun that actually operated. Didn't shoot bullets, but you know what I mean. And at the time, it was one of the much better crafted cosplay because he made the metal parts to the cosplay. And it wasn't just like little bits and pieces here and there. No, it was like a 80-pound suit that he could only wear for like an hour. So I'm like, dude, like I can barely make a sandwich, much less make armor like that. So I like put his name in the hat for it. And the main judge, like the head judge, was like, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's actually fair.
Yeah, but, I mean, as long as the main judge made the last decision, you should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes. There's nothing wrong with like you being a judge and your friend enters and you're like, oh shit, well, there are some times where you're going to probably judge your friend a little bit more harshly than you would the others. But like it happens sometimes. It used to be a problem back then. I don't know how long you've been around, like going to cons, entering cosplay competitions.
I've only been competing for a year.
So like, I want to say like 14 years ago, it was a real big issue in the community. It was constantly like the same judges and it was constantly like the same people winning the awards, all the awards. Very like there were a few people that won awards that were out of the norm, but it was usually the same people over and over and over in every con. So at one point that was an issue in the community and people were like pissed. And so like I guess that's where it's coming from, because I know the individual commenting, and they've been around not as long as me. I think maybe just as long, maybe not as long, but I know there was a dark point in the cosplay competitions in the community, and it's gotten a lot better. I feel like competitions right now are definitely a lot better than they used to be.
I have felt pretty positive experiences at pretty much all of my other competitions, so I can agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm. But going back to WeebCon, so let's
Yes.
So we all heard the stories, right? Everyone knows it's not a secret anymore. We heard the bullshit. We heard that at some point WeebCon was like, fuck it, we don't need a cosplay competition.
Yep, I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they woke up, smelled the coffee. He's like, shit, we need one. All right. The con's in 2 weeks. You're hired. Make it happen. Make it work. If you've ever seen the movie Friday, if you know, you know. When Smokey's at his house and his mom's like, go get me some cigarettes. And she gives him $1. He's like, hey, this ain't enough. She's like, make it work. He's like, I need more than this. And she's like, make it work. And then walks off. $1 for cigarettes. And she tells him to make it work. That is the same energy right there. Right fucking there that the con had for the cosplay competition. As somebody that runs panels, as somebody that's been staff for a con, somebody that's volunteered, somebody that's actually like been the coordinator for an event, for events, for whole fucking whatever, for conventions, you need more than 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, when you get 2 weeks before the con, you don't have 2 weeks. You have like at most, and this is pushing it, 8 days.
As we explained yesterday, but like, it's just a refresher.
Right. No, we did. We explained this yesterday. And sorry, Luna, I didn't mean to go on my soapbox.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, we all heard about the 2 week thing. And people are like, well, you had 2 weeks to get the cosplay competition together. You're forgetting that they got to put together the show. You have to structure the entire show. There's a lot of logistics. You don't know what room you're going to work in. You need cosplay judges. You can't, you have until the con, right, to get a cosplay judge? No. You have to get the cosplay. Yeah, you need it. They need it weeks. Maybe some people need a months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if they got to take time off work? What if they got to fit into their schedule? What if
I do have something to add to that when you
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I do know some contestants that had signed up for the competition who did apply to be a contest judge and were denied. People who won awards at that competition signed up to be contest judges and were denied.
So here's the thing though, because there's some context, because did they apply after it got reinstated or before it got reinstated?
I assume before, just because that stuff is planned out months in advance, but still, you could go back and look at the emails and just be like, who's really easy that's already coming to the contest that we could just snag?
Mm-hmm. Because like, there's a whole lot of, you got to and that makes sense. That makes sense. But unfortunately, I'm going to like be the devil's advocate in this for a second.
Understandable.
Whenever you are thrown last minute in the lion's den, and all you're given is a stick, you're going to panic.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame them at all.
You're going to freak out. You're going to panic. You're going to, for lack of a better word, shit your pants. I think that wholeheartedly, if this person, the person that was put in charge, had at least a month in advance, they would have gotten those people that applied.
I agree.
I think. Go ahead.
I've heard they run another con that goes smoothly. So, like, I trust them. I trust their judgment. I trust that they did not have their full, power at their disposal for this.
Like, they didn't have full control.
Yeah, I trust that they didn't have full control of the situation.
Mm-hmm. So, not to compare apples to oranges, but look at events. Look at any kind of sporting event. Look at the UFC. Look at what's his face, the what's the Paul dude that's fighting Tyson?
Oh, Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Look at Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. They are preparing for that at least half a year in advance.
Yeah, because that's going to happen in June in Dallas, ironically.
Right. Look at WrestleMania. Look at next year's WrestleMania, 2025's WrestleMania is already being planned. Is being planned now.
Mm-hmm.
Look at any sporting event. Look at any kind of like cosplay. Conventions are set up months in advance. Cosplay gatherings weeks in advance, months in advance. Everything takes time. If you want it done right, and this person has had a track record of knowing what they're doing.
Definitely.
But it's like I said, they literally gave this person $5 in a Subway coupon. There's your budget. Make it work.
Yeah. It's like it reminds you of that scene from I don't know, for people out there who have watched Rocko's Modern Life. There's a scene where there's an episode where they have to make a cartoon and their budget was just like $20 for like a big giant, produced cartoons. And sometimes cartoons take like what half a $1,000,000 to make one episode.
Yeah.
And they're only giving like $20. And they're like, here's your budget. Don't spend it all at once. I don't know. Sorry, I just thought of that in my brain.
No. Flip the Mattress says 12-ounce mouse. Love that. So, like, do you feel like, honestly, and Lunar, this is, and I want to hear what Wi-Fi has to say as well about this whole situation, because I know Wi-Fi for sure knows a lot more than me. I know Dankbus knows a lot more than me. Here's the thing. I've been trying to like read everything everyone sent to me, but I was so overwhelmed. Plus, I have to work.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, we have WrestleMania this weekend. Like, we're
We have
not
a lot
just
on our
watching
plate.
it. Yeah, we have a lot. And plus, we got to like start preparing for Comic Palooza. We had to choose between WrestleMania and CypherCon, and like we chose WrestleMania. Plus, I can't travel anyway because I'm taking care of somebody at home. So it's a lot. It's a lot, and we have actual podcast guests scheduled weeks in advance, thanks to Dankbus's help. And it's just a lot. It's a lot. And I heard about the cosplay competition and I thought it was a joke. I'm like, ha, April Fools.
I wish.
Yeah, I wish it was a joke.
Apparently the real joke was the contest itself. But it's not even like people were, and this is what I like. The community so far has been really cool. Like, hey, look, we know it's not the event, it's not the coordinator's fault. You know whose fault it is? It's the cons.
Yep.
And there is some truth to it. I don't know if you know, I think you do, but they wanted to, there was some rumor and innuendo that they wanted to make it just a voice acting con, voice actor con.
I definitely heard about that.
And I can kind of see where that, because there's a lot of comic cons and a lot of comic book conventions that are just that.
Mm-hmm.
They are strictly just VA cons. Like, but keep in mind that a lot of these shows still have cosplay competitions. They'll call them costume contests,
which is the same, kind of the same thing in a way.
Yeah, it's almost the same thing. I mean, it's the same
idea.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's the same idea, but I think that was really short-sighted of the convention. And I'm sorry if anybody disagrees with me, but if the con had decided, I believe that if the con decided to get rid of the cosplay competition, which I think is stupid, by the way, they should have stuck to that. Because bringing it back at the last minute and half-assing it probably would have, I think it actually pissed more people off. I think not having a cosplaying competition would have made a lot of people upset, but not as much. Because there are definitely a lot of people that are like, they don't have a cosplay contest. Fuck it. I'm not going to dress up. I'm not going to bring my big cosplay. I'm just not going to go. I didn't go. I don't really have an opinion of the convention. What do you think? Let me get your opinion on that, Lunar. What do you think?
I personally would have been happier if there wasn't a contest, just because I mean, I still have some part of my story to say, but with that part of my story in mind, I believe that I feel robbed, I guess, of an experience that I felt I should be having, and it hurts. It's frustrated me, my friends, a lot of the other participants, a lot of people that I know that are judges, and honestly, I think it would have just been better if they were like, hey, we're going to do a cosplay walk-on showcase. We're not going to judge anything, but if you want to come show your stuff, feel free to. And that was like replacing the contest at that time.
It's like a sense of like, I rather, it's like the whole thing about like, I'd rather just cancel the show than half-assing it. You know what I mean? I'd rather cancel it and change it to a good and delay it to make it great than releasing it like that and just be disastrous and have to do damage control. It's kind of like the whole like when a game gets delayed or something like that. Like when a video game comes out and it's like, okay, this game should not have come out, and they're like, yeah, we should have delayed it or something like that. You know?
I'd rather perform for nothing, knowing I'm performing for nothing, rather than knowing after I've won that I performed for nothing.
Yeah, there you go. That's actually a really good.
Because that is exactly what happened.
Yeah,
that's right. Our prizes consist of a handshake and the wink and a smile.
No, I'm being genuinely serious with this. When I went on stage to receive my award, not only did I not get an award, but the winners received no prize for winning. Not even Best in Show had a monetary or
nothing physical, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. And I did talk with some people that were working the con or knew people that were working the con. And from what I have found out, I cannot confirm if this is true or not, but I have heard from multiple sources that the con was going to give us a letter of recommendation so that we could compete at other competitions, even though we won this competition, just because they couldn't afford to give us prizes. And we only found out about that. I only found out about that a few days after winning. The Best in Show only found out about that in line to do her walk-on.
Yikes.
And on the website, it like specifically mentions that the Just for Fun category will have no monetary prize. It says for casual cosplayers, all that kind of stuff. There are no crash prizes, but there will be something special in store for the winner. So hop on stage and put on a show. And then they also said there will be one winner chosen in each craftsman level, as well as one cosplayer chosen for Best in Show, as like a completely separate paragraph. So it very clearly insinuated that there would be something that wasn't nothing.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, you know what the best way to describe this? I recently just thought about this now. It's that the Krabby Land episode of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could describe it.
That's what Nini said yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Hey, so I let me ask to see if there's any truth to that, because I do have a source. Dankpus, do you have anything on that statement? Because I actually have not heard anything about that. Because
nobody receiving anything, or like
any kind of like a recommendation letter, like it's a fucking college or some shit like that.
That's what I heard from the people who were working the floor of the convention. The people that were like directly related with the contest staff. So I'm assuming it's true.
Yeah, same.
Just because they were the ones who told me.
Right. And here's the thing. They probably considered it, but let me tell you why that just kind of doesn't make, like, you're a cosplay competition.
Oh, it doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't make sense at all unless you're associated with the World Cosplay Summit. Then, like, even then, like, okay, recommendation. I can just sign up and compete. I don't need a recommendation.
The recommendation letter was specifically not a recommendation. It was specifically so that basically asking other cons to excuse the win at WEEBCON, just because, again, no one was getting any prizes for winning at WEEBCON. So they were trying to basically find a loophole so that people could still compete in their cosplays, even though they had won at WEEBCON, and it wouldn't count towards sandbagging.
Yeah, that sounds like a They might as
mean-
well have spit in everybody's face.
Oh, honestly.
Yeah, you better
Yeah,
off
it's
just
very
like
disrespectful.
just better off just farting in their face and like, here, go fuck yourself. Basically saying better off to that.
Yeah, and it's not even because I had heard that they tried. So honestly, it's like, so part of me kind of wishes we had heard about the con sooner, because we definitely could have tried to do something to make it better. Honestly, I would have been like, here's, for the halftime show, we definitely would have had something a lot better. You can literally sit there and be like, all right, I'll give $50 to the person that comes up with the best yo mama joke. And that's 20 minutes worth of content right there. For
That's all
one,
you
it's
need.
$50. Secondly, it's stand-up comedy. And you might even you might get a bigger crowd, because when you are, especially at that con where they're not giving away water's like the water bottles looked at the gas prices and said, here, hold my beer.
Oh yeah, the main events hall was the one room I found with a water bottle station.
So I want to address something. So I know we said we would ignore this person. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say their name, but if you know, the person that commented on all my shit on Instagram saying, why are you doing this? Why are you making these videos? Why are you doing this for clout? You're just bad mouthing a con. They had water stations. Sir, tell that to the hundreds of people that came forward that are dehydrated, dying on the floor. Like, some people drink out of the fucking sink in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was no AC either.
Exactly. Yeah, no AC, and apparently it was really hot in Texas that weekend.
Oh yeah, I was
And
sweating worse than a cow at pasture at that point.
Like, let's look past the AC. Even if there was AC,
Yeah.
let's say it was 20 degrees in that hotel, right? There are some cosplays that are so goddamn thick.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this for a fact because when I was at Renaissance, it was 28 degrees, and I was still sweating my ass off. I couldn't even feel the air because I decided to wear one of my cosplays out there, and it pissed off a few people while I was there, but that's neither here nor there. There are some cosplays that are so thick you can't feel the breeze, you can't feel the air, you don't feel the AC.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you're in an oven, especially the T-Rex costumes, the inflatable Pikachu costumes, anything that's inflatable where the air is trapped inside. You don't feel it. That's why we need water. That's why we need the water station, so people aren't dying on the streets of the convention. And here's the thing, though. We joke about this, but cosplayers do live off. There are a lot of cosplayers that live off of sugar packets and water during that weekend.
Yeah, we
is
joke.
true.
Yeah, we joke about it, but no, that's actually kind of accurate. I've seen a lot of people. Actually, one good example. I've seen a couple of people at the hotel I was staying at. The breakfast that has like these little packets of like peanut butter or like jelly, and I've seen a couple of people at the con like eating those instead of like paying like, I don't know how much the food was there, but it was like they were eating that's all they were eating, that and like
the jelly packets. Yeah,
jelly packets and like a cup of like peanut butter.
Yeah, like butterflies and stuff, they need the liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Liquid and sugar, just like a butterfly, and that's all cosplayers are, is a bunch of little butterflies, and they didn't have any flowers to drink from. That was it.
And let's say, okay, so I heard stories that the AC didn't work. The AC wasn't working as well. It didn't work. It wasn't cold. First off, if there's no air circulating the convention to try to keep it at a good, moderate temperature, you're going to find out real fucking fast who decided not to wear deodorant that day.
I can attest for that as someone who went to the late night panels. You found out real fast.
It's like, woo, man, why do you smell like last week? It's only Friday.
Man, they made the con stereotype real.
It's a real thing. Like,
Accurate, yeah.
there is one person who's now infamous in Texas, and I'll say his name because I don't care. Because one, he did go to federal jail. His name is Shadow. He was part of like the LARPing group things. He would never wear deodorant. He stunk. You could smell him around the corner.
Like as soon as you smell it, you know who it is.
Yeah, as soon as like he was like 20 feet away, like he was around the corner. Oh God, Shadow's here. And his excuse was, "Oh, I'm allergic to deodorant." I'm like, they sell deodorant for people with that issue.
No excuse.
And like there are people, especially like not to shame anybody, but especially like, here's one thing that nobody's talked about. Did WeebCon have a gaming room?
Yes, they did.
How was that? Because nobody said anything about, I don't know if it was good. I don't know if it was shit.
No, it was fine. I mean, it was pretty well organized. Like one half was like arcade cabinets, the other half was like actual like gamer.
So they got one thing right.
No. So well, let me explain. I don't want to crap on them too much about it, but one side is arcades, the other side was like all the consoles from like the classics all the way to like modern. And in the middle, they would have a stage for the tournament. So it was actually like it was by Retro Game Series. So they're these like it's like a tour of these this little tournament organization where they actually like they do like retro tournaments based on like at conventions. They actually handle all that stuff. They do all that. And in the middle, there's like a place for people to sit down and all that. Other than that, I mean, it was actually not bad. But I will say though, especially like a little bit later by the night, you could have like a certain aroma, if you know what I mean.
Actually, I was so I wasn't trying to shit on them. I was actually giving them a compliment because like I know if you say it's decent, that means it was like, I know you have like high standards when it comes to gaming.
Yeah, not just like pretty much like all the other things too, but it's just like the gaming one was kind of like the one place I was like, okay, I could just relax there, I could take a break, I don't have to worry about other BS. There's like nothing really, any issues. Like if you want to play a game, I can play a game. Like at one point I was taking a break there. I was spending like, I don't know, like half an hour playing like a couple of like old PS2 Dreamcast games.
Do y'all guys know anything about Rabbit Bros BO?
Mm-mm.
Hey, well, yeah, if isn't it
Oh,
the
Reddit.
Rabbit?
Oh, sorry. I'm dumb. I'm so sorry. I'm a dumbass. Reddit's Bros BO.
Yeah.
Oh, like a stereotype. Okay. I'm slow.
I rather spell cool cucumber.
I mean, we definitely had those at the convention. You could just smell them 5 feet away, and you're like, "Whoa!"
Ooh, man, it's like a punch in the face.
Yeah.
So I don't know the layout of the con.
Okay, so the layout.
Cheese.
What's up?
Go ahead.
So the layout of the con is what they have is the first floor would be like, you know, all the vendors and all that stuff. Actually, it's technically the second floor, because the second floor, that's where all the dealers, the set vendors and all that. Because the first floor is where people would go in through the shuttles and all that stuff to drop off and all that. The third floor is where they have the artist alley, they have the gaming, they have all the panel rooms, they have all the main events, all the panels are up in the third floor.
Because I heard that the artist alley was in the third floor this year.
Yeah, it was in the third floor. It was like, but it was still, you could still see it. It was unlike a certain convention here in Houston. You could actually tell where it was. There were signs, and actually there were some actual staff who actually know. It's like, yeah, it's actually on the third floor, right there. You won't miss it.
Okay, so the last thing that I want to talk about, and then we're going to wrap it up here, is the parking situation at AllCon. We didn't get to talk about that yesterday. We didn't get to talk about that yesterday. That was definitely a very sore, popular subject that we didn't address. So I've heard different stories about the parking situation. Multiple people have described it as a dumpster fire or a clusterfuck.
It was.
Yeah. Did you hear about the catalytic converters being stolen?
Yep, that was somebody. Someone got.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no.
Security. Go ahead.
Sorry, Goku. There was one of the people that we the stories that I shared. Yeah, someone got their catalytic converter stolen, and that's why they were like, it's kind of wild. Like, yeah, that really did happen.
Security was too busy harassing the cosplayers to go secure the garage, I guess. Guard the garage.
Yeah, right. I've heard of like some other atrocities, like people coming up to the Itashas when they were like
and licking them,
moved and stuff, to like lick them and things like that.
Yeah.
I have to agree with Jonathan Kent. This is the first time I'm hearing anything about like they were stealing the fucking catalytic. What the
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone had their catalytic converter stolen, and like that's why they weren't able to go that Friday. They were gonna go Friday, and then actually they were there Friday, but then like they found out that it got stolen because they saw something like on the ground next to their car, and they're like, "What the fuck happened?" And then I think they took it to a shop, and they told them, "Yeah, your catalytic converter's gone."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, so was that in the
um,
parking lot though?
It's
That was in the
Yeah, that was in the
probably
parking lot.
it's in the parking lot, and then also keep in mind because the way the parking is, there's these lots like outside of the convention, so it's like I don't know, like a couple of blocks from the convention, and it's like this long, huge fields and all that stuff, and you have to take like either you can go walk to the convention center, or you could just wait for the shuttles.
Ooh, the shuttles. Yeah, they closed at 8:30 and WeebCon didn't tell anybody. So a lot of people
Yeah.
had to walk back.
I had
Yeah,
to be driven back on Friday because the WeebCon closed at 10 and the shuttle stopped before that.
yeah. So
Okay.
they actually and let me add to that because I didn't see a sign until day 2 of it, which was Saturday. They showed a sign like, "Oh, the shuttles are from 8 a.m. to like 9 p.m. Sunday it'll be until 6 p.m." And I'm like, "You wait until the second day to tell us this?"
Yeah, exactly, right. I want to address this comment from Jonathan, like the licking of the bike.
Yeah, I was
I-
gonna ask about that. Like, what the fuck?
May I talk
That's
about this?
new to me.
Can this
Yes,
be
go
my
ahead.
thing?
Yes.
Okay. The bike that was shown at WeebCon, the Power Atasha, is actually my boyfriend's bike.
Oh my god.
Oh,
So this is why I kind of asked to talk about this one. Many times during the con, people came up to him telling them that they had seen someone lick the bike, or they had seen someone try to like get on the bike without asking. There was only one person that actually tracked down his Instagram and asked to take a photo with the bike. I don't have their handle right now, but they're very nice for doing so. He was very grateful about that. But otherwise, quite literally, no one even asked for consent before licking, touching, doing anything. This bike had also showed at KawaCon earlier this
Can
last
I
month.
interrupt you for
Yeah.
a second? I just need some context. Why is there something special about the bike as to
No.
why people would lick it?
No, they
I
were
think
licking the
it's the
seat. They were licking
yeah.
the seat.
Oh, the seat.
What?
I thought they
They
were
were
licking
licking
the
the seat.
character's
From what
seat.
I heard, so he actually caught someone licking the seat. There was someone who was staring, quote unquote, staring really closely at the bike, and he walked over afterwards, and there was like a wet mark on the seat. And
Oh goodness.
yeah, and
Jesus.
there's a bunch of scuff marks. Actually, there's some damage on the back seat just
Oh my
because
God.
people were trying to climb on it while
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
being showed for photos and stuff like that. And they never like got caught, but they did actually scratch the seat because they couldn't put their leg over the back. And I want to make it very clear. My boyfriend showed at KawaCon earlier last month. They hired a security guard to be there the entire time while the bikes and the stuff were being showed. WeebCon did not do that. So there was no security. There was supposedly security for a period of time, but I never saw security. I went to the dealer's hall several times. I never saw security. I am very pressed about it just because obviously that's not my thing. And it's something of someone very close to me. But yeah, along with that, the person who owns the Kirby car, I have heard that their car, the Kirby Atasha, was actually the door was physically opened and someone got into it for a photo.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
like the
Oh my
car that looks like curvy, the thing that
No,
you
no,
can't
no,
see?
yeah,
No,
no,
no, that's
yeah.
the
There's
car
a
that-
car. There's a car that has like Kirby decals, has Kirby designs around
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And
that's
Yeah.
like curvy, like the pink blob, right, from Super
Yes,
Smash Brothers.
yes.
Yeah, from
Isn't
And
that
so-
that's the car that somebody rubbed their junk on, right?
What?
Wait, what?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that happened. as well.
Okay, I will say the owner of that car is also a friend of mine. I will be making sure she knows about this.
yeah. No,
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
said that somebody was like bragging that they rubbed their junk at one of the parties. Yeah,
Oh,
I rubbed
God.
my junk on the car. I'm
Yeah.
so
Jesus.
sorry.
You know, I want to say this as a car nerd, like a super duper car nerd, and worked with cars and stuff my whole life. That Atashas are very expensive. They're
They are.
Mhm.
like
They
the wrap
are.
for them could be anywhere from like maybe $1,000 to like $5,000, depending on how
That
like depending on how detailed it is.
Yeah, there was
And
a vendor at the dealers that was like, "Hey, if you want your Atasha wrap, we start at $1,000."
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely. You can go
yeah.
up.
I think that's like Express Skins. I'm not sure.
I think it
I know
was
there are a few.
Expressions. Yeah, I think so.
So,
Express is the main
um,
one.
the
Yeah,
thing
there is
being,
no
since it was
security
so
for
yeah, since
the
it was
cars.
so hot, it was so hot in the hall. Likely the glue for the all of the wraps probably got misplaced just because of the heat, and that damage in itself is probably horrendous. But then people touching it at the same time increases the chance for it to be scratched or to be taken off. So
Yep.
Yeah.
like lawsuit almost,
And
especially with people putting their like faces or their junk or their
Yeah, I'm gonna
bodily
throw up.
parts on all over the decals. Like I'm so sorry for like the people with the Tashas that had to deal with this.
I also want to make a comment. That is my boyfriend's bike. I ride on the back of that bike. I did not
Oh
touch
my
it at all
God.
at that convention, just because I have respect for the people who have Atashas, and it's just frustrating to understand that
Mhm.
people don't. Like, obviously, one of my friends sniffed the seat as like a joke, but everyone knew that it was going to happen. She asked to do it.
With permission, yeah.
Yeah, she has permission, but like the people that are like licking his seat and like touching the bike and even trying to get on the bike, especially with the people also like breaking into her car, that's the part that frustrated me. And the fact that security was barely ever there, if at all, is also super frustrating.
Mhm.
Okay, so I want to apologize. I'm so sorry. Like I'm still processing. Like I'm pretty sure you and your boyfriend. I'm very positive you guys are very clean and everything,
Yes.
and y'all
Can promise
bathe
that.
and deodorant and like wipe your fun parts. But Jesus fucking Christ, I'm not licking somebody's fucking seat. I'm not tasting ass. Ugh.
Yeah, and
Ugh.
I even told him like get plastic covers for the seats because you cannot promise that a con isn't going to treat you like this again. Because again, there should have been a security guard. There should have been someone watching the Atashas, watching to make sure no one touched or fondled them, especially a
Mhm.
bike that they can't open the door to sit on the seat. Like they have free access to the mechanisms of the bike.
Yeah. It's kind of wild that they let that happen.
Yeah, and back to the security. They had no security, and they had almost no volunteers because my friend volunteered, and they were begging my friend. They were like, "Please, if you know anybody, we need help. We need help. We don't have enough people," and they were overworked with the people that they had. My friend ended up staying like an hour late for volunteering, and even volunteered an extra day because there was just nobody.
Mhm.
Oh my
There was
goodness gracious.
badge check that just went unattended, and you could just walk on in, no matter, even if you had a badge, they weren't looking because they
Oh
just
my god.
didn't have the help.
Blastoids, one way around that, by the way, sorry, I don't mean to change subject. You got to book sometimes outside the con block, or you have to book the date. So if they're sold out on a certain day, book the day before and just stay that extra day.
Actually,
That's
I also have, sorry to interrupt you. I have another friend who complained about the same thing with the hotel, although I feel like this is like separate from the convention itself. Apparently, the hotel lost a bunch of people's reservations because a friend of mine said that she called the hotel to make sure she had her reservation, and they told her she never had one. It was never her name, but she had the receipt, and she tried to argue with them that like, hey, I booked this reservation 3 months in advance. Here's my name. Here's the number. Can you please check again? And they were like, no, we're 100% sure you never made this reservation. So she spent like an entire like 3 hours just going back and forth until they went, okay, fine, yeah, you do have a reservation. Like, here you go,
It's
because
ridiculous. Yeah, it's
they did take
ridiculous.
that payment and everything.
so you know what that is. I can tell you because like whenever we worked at the Sheraton, when I worked at the Sheraton,
Mhm.
they would do that when they overbook the hotel.
Mm-hmm. I worked at a Marriott, and they did the exact same thing.
Right.
Yeah, so
And
that's done on purpose.
yeah, and the resort
Yeah.
is a Marriott.
Yeah, all
I
hotels do that shit.
assumed.
Yeah.
I would have assumed, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know, but we gotta educate our
Yeah.
followers.
Yeah.
We
Some of them don't know.
yeah, because like fuck. I mean, like I don't pretend to know shit about sewing. Like all my cosplays are hot glued together like an idiot. I'm the idiot, no one else. I am the idiot because people have told me don't hot glue your shit together. But I did hear about the security situation. I heard that there were a couple of cops that were hired by the so I heard the cops that were there as security were brought in by the hotel, not the convention themselves. I don't know for sure, but I heard that they were being dicks. And who left? Dankpus. Okay, it's Dankpus. They were being dicks. They were being assholes, brushing people off. Pretty much, they didn't give a shit. Some of the volunteers were either bitchy or frustrated. Like they would respond with shit like, "I don't get. It's not my fucking problem."
Yeah, when my friend volunteered, she has a disorder. So obviously the volunteer didn't know this, but my friend took like 6 slices of pizza because she was thinking of us. Like when they fed them food, they only had cheese or veggie pizza for food for the volunteers. I don't know if they provided any water for them. I don't really know. But the volunteer literally commented, "Oh, if you eat all that, you're just going to gain 300 pounds." And, they have like a disorder with eating. So that, yeah. And I was like, whoa, like they really need to watch what they say because they're representing the convention. And it made their anxiety go all the way up.
That's horrible that somebody would even do or say something like that. Like,
yeah.
Hold on, guys. Give me a second.
All right, no, sorry,
go ahead. Go ahead and continue. Sorry, something came up. I can't share it just yet. Sorry, I was about to share it, but no. Okay, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Keep going. Sorry. Oh no, Lunar's leaving. I'm so sorry. Thank you for joining us. That's not what I was talking about it. But it was like 2 things I needed to address. One of them I can't address it just yet. But no, thank you, Lunar, so much. Like you've been very insightful. I'm so sorry that you had that experience. Well, here's the thing, guys. I know a lot of people are saying I never want to go back. I never want to go back. I never want to go back. But we've actually been talking about it. Me, Sonic, and Dankapus, and like other people, Deacon, like the people that give a shit. Like the panelists and event hosts that actually care in this community. Because you got Zeros to Heroes, Pixelation, Deacon Rap, Geeks 5 Ever. You have all these amazing groups that host panels, do events, do halftime shows, do stand-up comedy like Coach. You got Sax at the Con who does saxophone concerts. You have so many different people that actually provide great content for the cons. Everyone is willing to participate and help out any convention that needs it. We are going to try our absolute best to make sure we can help out because we think that WeebCon can be turned around and be saved. I'm not going to say helped anymore. I feel like it can be saved. It can be redeemed. It just needs people that give a shit. And I'm not saying the staff don't give a shit, but I honestly believe, and this is something I talked to somebody earlier, I think the hotel fucked the con over.
Oh, yeah.
I can understand that.
I know some shit is the con's fault, but I think a lot
the venue
fucked them over.
There could have been so much more done with the venue.
Right. So thank you, Lunar, for joining us. Thank you. We would like to have you back in the future for different subjects.
Yes, definitely. Feel free to shoot me a message.
Everybody else, not just
everyone that's been on the show.
Not just when cons go really terribly.
Yeah, exactly. No favorites. We love everyone. Most everyone.
Maybe me a little more. So yes, thank you all for having me. I really appreciate being able to at least talk about my experience, at least as to what I can. I do want to, before I leave, state that I have, along with a few other people, emailed WeebCon about what happened at the cosplay contest, asking for a resolution. If we don't hear anything about that, quite a few of us have more posts lined up, so I'm sorry, your feed's going to be a little bit chaotic. But we do have more posts lined up going further into our experiences at the contest.
Okay, so we do have Lunar. I'm so sorry you're leaving right
No,
as
you're
this
fine.
person is joining us. We do have a very special guest. Somebody's going to be able to shed some light. I'm not going to say what their affiliation is with the con. They could be a volunteer. They could be a guest. They could be God. Who knows? They could be staff. Who knows? Who cares? They're here to shed some light on the situation. We're going to call him JK.
I think they're closer to God than they are any other description.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
No, not the
Hello.
E-boy voice.
And I need to protect myself. Howard and the one any of my boss coming off of me.
Oh, yes, I see.
But I'm willing to talk openly about what happened from the side of someone helping run it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely. So, all right. So just guys, be respectful. Like I said, he did mention that, this is to protect his identity.
Mhm.
So if you have any questions, now is the time. So you watched, you've been here both nights. You've been here both shows.
That's
You-
right.
you've
I missed a
seen-
little bit here and there, but I did catch up.
Well, the fact that you've even caught some of this, let me put it like this. The fact that you've caught some of the show, the fact that you, for lack of a better term, and I don't sugarcoat anything, so forgive me for my vulgarness, but the fact that you give a shit says a lot about how much you care. And that's
It means a lot.
really great. It means a lot. I know it means a lot to you, but it means a lot to us, the community, the people. Because let me explain something. And this is and I'll let you you can answer whatever questions. I'm going to give people a chance to kind of ask. Guys, it doesn't matter if you're WWE, if you're UFC, if you're Walmart, Acon, Onicon, Anime Matsuri, if you are, a YouTuber, if you're fucking Honey Wheats Oats over there, a Pete, whatever the fuck his name is, doesn't matter who you are. Without your audience, without your followers, without your supporters, without the people, without an audience, without people that are willing to be a part of your community, there is no WWE, there is no UFC, there is no Comic Palooza. Without our followers, there is no Geeks 5 ever. There is no WEEBCON. There's no Whole Wheat Pete. I finally got his name right.
Oh,
It's funnier not to say his name.
Right. Pan Dulce Gringo. That we're without the people, the supporters, you guys are the blood, the lifeblood that makes up everything. Because without you guys, there's what is the point? Companies can't make money, they can't host shows. Without you, I'm just some random dude talking to myself on the internet. So we appreciate all of you. So that's why I think the world of you, because you care, because you are taking the time, because we need the people. Even The Rock calls himself the people's champion, because without the people, he's not their champion. I went on an entire tirade. Sorry about that.
Good.
It's okay.
I think the best thing I can do is I'm explain the mindset behind the con, because it's not the same as in any other con. Okay. Because especially when I join stuff, I'll be honest, I'm not gonna hide that that's something I'm not great. What I will say though is, when I joined stuff, the one thing I was always told to me was our goal wasn't to be everything. And another part of the staff goal was we didn't want to be staffed by veteran staff. We wanted to be all new staffers, people that bring new blood and new energy. And that's a big goal and a big vision of the owner coming into the adjunct. And always back onto.
Mm-hmm. Can I add something to? I kind of like that what you just said right now, that y'all wanted to be like bring new people, bring a new energy. Because here's the thing, I've been around. Like I said, I've been going to conventions since 2007. When I first joined conventions, it was like walking into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. It was amazing. It was the greatest thing I ever saw. But then I ate the blueberry and blew up, and then now I saw the backstage shit. So I learned
Mhm.
that there was a group of people, like the same group of people that ran 70% of the conventions in the state of Texas.
That's where I've worked
And
with them.
if you piss them off, they could literally have you blacklisted from every con.
That's
But that's not the case anymore. Like cons are, they have, and I applaud that, like having a brand new staff, bringing a whole different energy, having different perspectives, different minds, different like ideas, because it changes things. It forces other cons like, hey, what they're doing is working, what we're doing is not working, so let's change it up.
And that was a big part of our business going in actually year 2, 3, and even going into. And the cost of that is we do move staff around. I've never been in the same position. All my notes have been in. I took notes last year, there, and they were moved passed on the next person. I personally was on the same. There were thousands of people in the same position all 3 months. Look, if anyone hasn't seen the Discord and this person is proud as I'm proud of them. Our art of Mackenzie is the greatest personal artist art. She will answer almost any question that comes through. And she does an amazing job looking up for the average goer and everyone goes through. She has the best of her ability. She would have been at the con all weekend and not had a family emergency. Because in the end, we all know family comes.
We do have a question for you, JK. This is actually something that we've encountered. So it's not the, like, I don't know about the war and bossing save, but are you aware that EMG Films is posting harassing comments?
I was made aware. I have passed it on to my payers that haven't done anything.
So I don't know if I'm not saying it's the same person. It could be, it couldn't. I don't have any proof. But there was somebody with it's one of those burner. You know what everyone? I don't know if you know what a burner YouTube or Instagram or Facebook account is. It's whenever you have a second or third account, to kind of like talk trash and nobody knows who you are. You can kind of get away with that. So that person posted a very similar, like I had posted about WEEBCON. I made a post about WEEBCON, and here's the thing: I'm trying very hard to be reasonable. Maybe I've been a little bit unfair, and I will admit that I'm trying to be better at that. But look, I'm trying my best to help the community, and this one person's like, "Well, you're like, there's something wrong with you," and like there were water stations for the con, and like you're making this up and there's no proof and you're just trying to like hate, and I'm pretty much summarizing the comment. But when I looked at that person's profile, it had no likes, no posts, like they had no followers, they weren't even following anybody.
So did to clarify which website to speak about.
I do have a if you can I can email I took a screenshot.
You have how many people if you want to stop it?
Right. Say, can you repeat that again?
If you want to drop it in my Instagram,
okay, I got you. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't want to, I didn't want to mention where I was going to send it to you. I just want to say I can email it. Yeah, I got you.
Everyone has an Instagram nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone's got I come from a very traditional Mexican household. Like, no, wait, does my mom have an Instagram? My dad does. It's weird. Anyways, so like you have people that are like, and see, here's the thing. There are people saying that, okay, well, looks like we're never going back. Like our weekend was ruined. I feel like there was a lot of miscommunication this weekend. People aren't sure like what happened, what's going on. Do you feel like there was little to no communication this weekend between staff and volunteers?
I would say between staff and volunteers, we try to communicate as much as they can, but there were blind spots for sure, and there was a big spot between because we had the third floor and the fifth. of the convention. Second floor is an episode. For any information travel, you will get gone up to and run down. So yes, a lot of things were lost in transition because once you got back to 4 stairs, you're gonna be out of breath for a little bit, and you forget what how you give.
Right.
That happened to me. Who knows how many?
Mhm, mhm.
And
I
then
do want
we
to
had
address
we
this
had
comment
one.
real quick, just because this one's kind of this is pretty serious, and I just want to. So here's the thing. So WeebCon has dismissed the roofie and the SA incidents along with attendees' concerns. So because the SA, so we're not dismissing it. We actually addressed it. We had the victim on the show earlier today. WeebCon did contact the victim, Ava, and they did express empathy and said that we're going to be taking measures and steps to make sure that this never happens again. Here's the thing, though, and I'm sorry if you get mad at me. I'm sorry if I'm upset anyone. Like, it's really hard to monitor something like that because it happened in a private hotel room.
Yeah.
I mean, even last year when there was an incident, I felt really bad about it, but it didn't even get to staff on Monday.
Right. And like a lot of people didn't. Yeah, no, like, and that's a good point. Thank you for pointing that out, by the way, because sometimes we don't hear about this until after the con is over. And like, I know for a fact, because we talked, and I know for a fact that you are doing your best. Like, we can like banning that fucking asshole is one step in the right direction. But I think when it comes to, and I hate to say this, guys, but if you're going to have a room party, you should probably let staff know anyway, because like, for one, most cons can't shut down your party anyway. Some cons will actually try to work out a deal and make you part of the con and make it into some kind of event. Some cons will actually tell you, hey, it's probably not a good idea to have it for liability reasons.
And it's a little end up being worth a lot. It's actually because and I think I agree with you on some points, but I've also faced for just don't jump the phone, because if we tell us we have to do, then we know, and then we're liable because we know about it. We should be taking care of people and nothing. And in the end, it is our job to make care of them. We don't want to. That I do want to address them, because I think that is a very important thing. And we've been talking to a couple of people, and there's a lot of layers, because what I've been told is, and we had a original person who claimed the roofies. We made sure they got to the hospital, and they made sure they took some tests and make sure that they were okay. Because we wanted to make sure what we got in, it's just, it wasn't a question of doubt, is more of a what actually happened. Because they could have been roofied, not known it. They could get orders of the other things. And it's just, and what I was told, and what I've passed along to as many people I could, was that they had taken the pre-workout, which had uploaded the caffeine in it. And yes, that caffeine was a control, whatever one. They are a startup company. They are still growing and still learning. But then if another person has that the pre-workout because of the lack of water, if there's water on site, and then they go and have alcohol, they can have habits. And some people have mentioned to me that at least some people who explain to me who have to deal with and do all that type of stuff, work out a lot. They've explained to me that that you should never have to work in alcohol would simulate similar effect. And when we heard back from the hospital, we learned, that person tested negative for any type of routes that they would test them for. So we were under the impression that, at least after we had learned that this was not a hoax, but it was not what people were saying. And but once the baptized got out, their friends went ahead and said, "Oh, our friend got roofied. This and that. We couldn't stop this." And it really sucked for us. It was what it is, and it UKO as well. We had to help them out, make sure they were safe as well. So we had to build some keep out. It was a mess.
I would like to know, because we've talked. Go ahead, Dankapus. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, addressing the person who was posting the disparaging comments under a lot of people's posts, on a burner and off a burner. They were directly saying that it was UKO's fault. Like they were directly trying to insinuate, may I actually say instead of just outright saying it, that this was at fault of the vendors, in which I want to come out and say, for the sake of that, never was, and this person is also a third party. You know, they're not necessarily connected to the con in any way, but like, for anyone out there thinking like it's kind of in bad fashion to think that the con wasn't really doing anything to address or try to help people, because that's the number one thing that I've heard people saying is that the con is ignoring it, but they weren't really ignoring it. It's just that they did go and try to figure out if it really was like roofie or not, but because they couldn't find any of the targeted drugs that they think it would have been, there wasn't too much to do except for like notify the victims, being also the vendors as well, to just be vigilant. And UKO also is handling this internally, is what I've heard.
Yeah. I heard they made an official like Discord message on it that the samples were for flavor purposes only, and it didn't have enough ingredient to actually have an effect on any individual. So I'm assuming it had little to no caffeine in it.
Yeah, as somebody with a food science degree, the samples were like less than, I want to say less than 100 milliliters. I want to say it was like, judging by a photo I was shown, anywhere from
Yeah.
30 to 15, which
Yeah,
would
that's
have
really a small
less
amount.
than 1 gram of caffeine in it. So, I mean, this could be just due to there being free Celsius being passed out, in which I mentioned yesterday. Celsius doesn't actually regulate their ingredients. So it could be anywhere from like a regular dose of caffeine of like 150 grams to like maybe 700 grams, and you wouldn't know. So this could just potentially entirely be a different thing altogether. But just to outright say, point fingers and go, oh, this is the con's fault or this is the vendor's fault, is like just ludicrous as well.
And the Celsius booth was not really trusted at all. That was 100% knowledgeable, just at the product label there. We had this love.
I will say this, and you brought up a good point. So not there's a thing, and this is kind of there's some context, and I'm going to explain it. So when we do con reviews, we always try to talk about things that the con has control over. Like, because people will talk about cons like, oh, I went to rubbing my junk over that car con, and that's just an example. It's not a poor. It's a poor example, but it's an example. So they're like, "Oh, I went to that con, and the panels and dealers room was great, but none of my friends were there. I didn't know anybody, so I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10. Or the room parties were stupid. 5 out of 10. Or like the vendors that were there didn't have the anime figures I wanted, so 3 out of 10. So there's a lot of things that the con does not have control over. That the cons do have control over, and like here, and so the whole what were they called, Dangapus? The group that are fighting the slander.
UKO, yeah.
UKO, thank you. UKO. So like they're fighting that because people are blaming them, they're blaming the con. Obviously there's a lot that happened, and there was a lot of people that weren't in the know, or just it was out of control.
Yeah, it turned into like a mass hysteria at that point, and people started blaming the Bunny Boys, if you guys know who they are.
Nope.
And they do shenanigans every year at WEEBCON, but they're never dangerous.
Let me put it to you like this. I didn't know who Sliced Bread Peter was until like yesterday.
The bread boy. But yeah, people were blaming the Bunny Boys for roofing the drinks, even though there was no proof of that whatsoever. It just turned into a whole movement. Everybody was freaking out.
Oh goodness, as somebody who was pretty close to the Bunny Boys, it was really kind of, once again, ludicrous to say, because the Bunny Boys were actually working with and partnered with UKO. Like,
Yeah.
So of course they were next to the booth. Of course they were over there because they were being sponsored by those guys and they're endorsing their product and they're helping them. Why would they sabotage themselves?
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so we do have to ask because we talked about it earlier. Is there anything that you are aware of or that you can share with us about the cosplay competition?
Where can I start?
So, okay, do you know as to why it was taken down? Because we've heard rumors, but nothing like we do have a concrete answer, but we kind of want to be sure, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if you've heard about the cosplay coordinator having less than a month to put the show together and manage everything that's on the show. If you figured out certain people and then their names I won't see too having issues that can cause things, how they approach house and I'll agree with that as well. But what it really comes down to is it was mismanaged. It had been done better. It had been done right. And they should have pulled the plug with the deal.
Do you think, because this is one of the things we've heard, do you think the reason why was because the con itself just didn't give a shit about the cosplay competition? Like some of not the con, like not the con as a whole, but some of the staff members, like, we don't need that. Just, that's the one thing we don't need. Instead, we need this.
I think it's not that they didn't have other cosplay contests. They just didn't value it as much as
It was not a priority. Yeah.
It was not nowhere near their priority. And that's why it was ended up a job fair here. They did not HC. Because in the end, it came down to just the person at the main stage and a cosplay party.
I do want to ask, since you brought it up, like what was the priority, the main priority of the convention?
I think it's very clear that it was and there's voice acted of live action, which God, those were our now, especially the live action and Japanese. Though they were our biggest pull, they were also our biggest enemy.
So I want to get your opinion on something. This is, and you can answer it. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you can just say pass. But do you think the con kind of overdid it with the guests, like voice talents, cosplay, or influencers, whoever they brought in?
I specifically mentioned Washington, and they overdid it again.
Because, like, the reason why I asked that, because I said this before, like, up until like a month ago, I had never heard of shit. I've never heard of WEEBCON, and like Sonic brought it up. He's like, "Hey, I want to go," and that's another thing we want to ask. By the way, there's a question I want to ask, but I'll ask after I make my statement here. So I never heard of the con. But then once I heard about it from Sonic, which was like back in February or like late January, early mid-February, I think. We obviously couldn't apply for panels because we missed the deadline, which I can respect. I can respect cons that have like a deadline because that makes sense. You got to work the schedule, fix it, make everything fit. It makes, and then you got to give the panelists time to advertise, put asses in the seats, as some people would say. But I started seeing people posting like, "Oh God, here comes VACon," or it's going to be voice actor. That's why I was like asking, like, do you think they overdid it? Because there was a lot of like people already like jumping, or already making, like, they've already jumped to conclusion like, "Hey, this is nothing but a voice actor con. Like, it's only good for like if you are going to go get like 100 Funko Pops autographed by like Johnny Young Bosch." So, like, the fact that you did say that does make a lot of sense, because I know other cons that are great, successful cons, and they only have like a quarter of the guests because they kind of like, okay, this is who we want to focus on.
Yes, and that's so fair. There's also like I agree with you that yes, we were looking to focus on guests a little bit, but also we were still looking off at the time of the game because we were not looking to support the game and to get 10, 50, 20 Funkos of the same guy's sign just to resell it. We very strongly told every owner of our guest, happily deny someone cost, happily deny someone cost whatever you want to do, because we did not want them signing for one person an hour when in the NFL line. So we are very clearly in our strategy. We were avoiding. We were looking out for we wanted that one guy who really wanted to meet this person or meet one or two or three people and say, this is honest for you to say, you can meet all these people in one place and not have to worry about cost of your world.
And I can respect that because like I will legitimately go to a con just to like say hi or meet somebody or like, that's how that's how SJ, who used to be one of our co-hosts, that's how we got Tom Ruger on the show. That's how we've gotten Linda Young on the show. That's how we gotten Stephanie on the show. That's how we've gotten John Gramillion on the show. We meet them at cons. We talk to them. We don't bombard them with like, okay, here's $1,000 and 20 Funko Pops. Start signing.
Exactly.
And which that was a big complaint, by the way. Like people were complaining. Like I went to an autograph. There were a ton of people with like 20 Funko Pops and like even a VIP badge got in front of this person with like 10 Funko Pops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, we can ask our guests to do something. It's up to them to, like we told them, hey, we would like it if you limit your signings to 5 to 10, but we can't force anything in the end. They're paying them to be here. They are our guests. And they still are trying to make money because that a lot of our guys, this is the biggest way to make money. They don't make as much as you think off of the place there. They make the most money off of it.
Yeah. The thing that bothered me the most is when I was waiting in a voice actor line and it was like my next turn, and then there was a VIP that came up and they got to go first. They had like 10 Funko Pops, and my partner was in the other line, and the other VIP had 20 Funko Pops, and each one was getting different quotes on it, and it just held up the line even longer.
Wait. Hold on. That was you?
Yeah.
That was your post?
Yeah.
I was like, where the hell did I see that post?
I was pissy.
Oh yeah, you were. I could feel your anger in that.
I gave him
like,
such a glare, and I think they were like, "You can go first," and I was like, I better go first. I've been waiting an hour."
Wi-Fi wife mentioned.
Yeah. And then Japanese just disappearing on there's something even.
Yeah,
they disappeared. And that was 100% their A. It was like, hey, let's go to the aquarium. And they just went to the aquarium. We were stressing out that they wouldn't make it back in time for their panels because we were worried we'd have to cancel a Japanese dance panel because you weren't here and we didn't know where they were for the longest time. Or they wouldn't. And once we didn't know where they were, we can't just drag them back.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy that they just vanished.
And we were scrambling to figure out what to do. We got lucky that they got back on time.
Mm-hmm. I heard that the Japanese maid cafe guests were like at least courteous enough to wait until after con hours to go do stuff. Really strange of their agent to just go, you know what? Let's just go to the aquarium right in the middle of your job and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the worst part is it's not even that far away, but we lost off a day and we had a line. We were about 3-4 hours long just to get through the system.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had, in order to manage the line, we did resell tickets and resell time at a dish party. And it was their idea to do that. It's sick over.
This is a different topic, but I was wondering if you might address the registration on Friday. It opened at 10 a.m., but the line, like, it didn't actually open until like 11 a.m. Like, there was some sort of delay, and people couldn't get their badge for over 2 hours. It was like wrapping all the way around the room, all the way around the building. It was chaotic.
You guys are gonna get me in trouble. What I do want to talk. There were 45 different matches. Because if you in our honor system, we have the DLC badge, and each month we sold a different badge type.
Yeah.
We had a Sailor Moon inspired badge, a Black Clover inspired badge. We've had a One Piece inspired badge, JoJo's badge, and each of those is made to order. Now,
Gotcha.
we have like 1 or 2 extra per, but not much. But the important thing is we have to literally run a per. We couldn't just have all the badges on us and go, oh, you have this badge, and it's cheap. We had to guess. We had to go back and say, December one day, October rated XYZ EIP. And so we have everything that. So of course the system.
Yeah.
And we're learning from that. And maybe the system will it's cool. It's really cool and different. But it wasn't the right idea. And we learned from that. That's what it is.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we literally had, I believe someone counted, it was 43 or 45 different badges. And that's not even accounting for exhibitors and stuff and whatever other badges.
Wait, so there were like 45 different badges and the panelists didn't get a badge, but they were able to
Panels
get
didn't get a
bunch of,
badge. Media didn't get a badge.
Some of the guests had to get like paper ones, if I recall correctly.
And you got the staff, yes, volunteer badges were all in the basic art stock, the weakest art stock. I said, everyone else's badges were printed on a little better quality. All the special DLC badges were printed by V1 on their budget plus. I'm just going to go ahead and address the question back to his control real quick. For media passes, we gave away about 4 to 5 media passes, but not. Yeah. We should have given away more. That's all I'm going to say. It's not my area to speak.
I do want to be the first one to say, I feel like that's really like frivolous that there would be like 45 different badges and that it was kind of like an oversight on their part to go, oh yeah, wait, we forgot about panelists and guests and everything else, but we spent all this money on all of the DLC badges. Like, it's like in the world that I come from, like the artist realm, it's like somebody paying over $400. Well, I'm gonna give this person a better art because they paid $400 for it, as compared to the other person who paid like my regular commission price of $50. Oh, well, it's just going to be worse quality because I don't see its value, And I feel like that was something that you brought up already, was just like the cosplay contest wasn't valued as much, So like, whose bright idea was all of that though, really?
I'm not at liberty to speak about that. That's an illegal line where I have to draw where I say, I don't want to talk about it and look like that. It's stuff but I can't say that. And now, look.
That's fair.
We understand.
I fully understand.
Did I miss? Did y'all ask about the media passes in the comment section?
Yes.
What was the response? Because I missed that. Sorry, I had to go use. This show has been so long. I had to go use the bathroom.
We gave away about 4 to 5 media packs, and not enough. Nowhere near. It was. That was what was decided. It's not much. I mean,
right, and the reason why, and here's the thing, and I've been encouraging cons to start doing this. So a lot of cons do media press, photographers, podcasters, reviewers, bloggers, all the whole 9 yards. And some of the cons have even started because Comic Palooza does a podcasting program. So I started pitching that towards other cons, and they're like, okay, they're considering it now. I think that's something WEEBCON should also consider in the future, just a suggestion, but maybe like a podcasting program, because that would also kind of paint the convention in a different limelight, because the lack of media passes, I know it wasn't intentional. I know it's not something y'all meant to do, but the message it sends is considered bad because they don't want a lot of press there because they don't want them to review the con or talk about the con, which is not the case. I feel like, as you said, it just wasn't a lot, maybe somebody dropped the ball. So I feel like that's something you can consider. By the way, shout out to Cruise Control Photography TX. What's up?
I wanted to speak more on the media thing, if that's all right, too.
Yes, go ahead.
Go for it.
So for the media, I was talking to some photographers, and I feel like WeebCon should have addressed this or like put this in the notes or rules somewhere, because obviously there was a dress code, there was the weapons policy, which I'll get to that later. But there was no rules about photography, and a lot of equipment was brought for photography, like strobe lights, all these lights, and
Yeah.
then security at the venue was like, you can't have that. You're gonna pay a $1,700 permit. You can't bring any of that. And I was like, I wish WeebCon like notified, if they were aware of it, of course. But it
I
just
stopped
feels,
hearing of it.
yeah, security was like, take your stuff, get out. You're not allowed to do that. And it was crazy how they treated the photographers of WeebCon.
I mentioned this earlier in the comments, but yeah, the gaylord literally only allows his idiots to work the convention, the convention or any event. And we used one last year, and we used the other one, but neither of them are. Last year's Drew was sleeping on the job and just not actually doing the job. This year's group was somehow slightly better, but obviously there was harassment.
I do kind of want to. Okay, so this is not towards our guest, JK. Wi-Fi. I want to ask you: do you think Bread Boy had something to do with that, considering the fact that he was doing stupid shit and stunts in that area?
Not with the photography thing. He had the problem with the TikToks. Like, we weren't allowed to film anymore. Like, cosplayers were literally kicked out of the venue and not allowed to go to the convention anymore because he was filming TikToks and drowned himself in the fountain for fun and views. And so security was like, "Oh, you're filming? Get the heck out." And we're like, "We're paying to be here. You can't talk to us this way."
And then sometimes I almost wish we could live. Maybe with, yeah, they were asleep on the job, but at least we could have fun. And when a problem actually came up, we helped off.
So, like, the reason why I bring up Bread Boy, because a lot of people, and this could be because people just don't like him. There was a lot of complaints about him being there. Somebody said he tackled somebody into the bushes. Somebody was like, not waterboarding. That was different. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but he was being dunked into the fountain first. Like, I've seen videos where he breaks stuff. And so I think that him and doing dumb things could have like negatively affected photography and TikTok and all that stuff.
Yeah, so the photography thing, there's it's being talked about that because of last year that photographers were standing in the hallway taking photos, that the Gaylord didn't like it. That's just a rumor though. And then they were more strict about it this year. I don't know how the photography thing happened, but with Whole Wheat Pete, you can see his TikTok.
I do want to say that it is a thing in California conventions, that a lot of like the bigger venues will not allow photographers to go inside, just in general, like just because they know that there's a lot of the photographers doing private contracts, and they want to try to circumvent that because they think that it's kind of predatory. I do think that maybe WeebCon was just trying to keep traffic low, or maybe they were just trying to like not have regular guests feel like they're being recorded, because a lot of the patrons of the actual, like the Gaylord themselves, are like, a little, apparently some of them weren't as friendly. So, but that's just speculation. We don't really have any real thing, but I know for a fact that it was before the Whole Wheat Pete thing came up, was when security came up and was like, "Hey, you can't have photography. You need to pay a permit."
Yeah.
That was like a good like few hours before the Whole Wheat Pete thing.
Yeah. And with security for the venue, I kind of wish they spoke more with WeebCon on what they could and couldn't do, because I feel like security of the venue had too much power. And of course, WeebCon can't control that. But I had a friend who was staying with me who was dressed in a leotard, tights. Everything was covered except the shoulders, Yeah. I had a security guard go tell her, go change. It's too sexy. And I was like, you're showing your shoulders. That's it. You're following WeebCon policy and everything. This wasn't a bunny suit. It was just a leotard and a cosplay. And it's crazy how they treated us and discriminated against us just for wearing cosplay. Like if I wore normal clothes all weekend, I was not looked twice at. It didn't bother me, but everybody next to me that was in cosplay was bothered.
You know, it really bugged me, like, especially I think it was yesterday where I heard DK mention the whole water thing that he did. That he was wearing the Offense jersey and then he asked to get water. They didn't get water, but he did. And that really bothered me, like even all last night. No, that's I'm taking this any of these pieces that I can use. So my boss is like, hey, can we either find a better contract or wish they do or to do the right thing or cancel them ourselves.
Right. I heard, or not heard, but I saw a video of a different cosplayer. They were walking, they were just walking and they were talking to a friend, and security from the hotel came up and started just harassing him and telling him he couldn't be walking in the lobby, that he had to leave. And he was telling him that like he either had to go back to his room or go to the hotel because he was causing a ruckus. But this man was just walking, he was just there, and they're like, this is kind of ludicrous that the hotel staff is like just harassing people for wearing cosplay. Like there was nothing nefarious going on. He wasn't filming. He wasn't doing any skits. He was hardly even talking to his friend. He stood there for maybe 2 minutes too long out of a 5-minute, just walk. And it felt a lot like the security was really power hungry, just going around telling a bunch of people you can't exist in the lobby. I also heard of other cosplayers, like other femme presenting cosplayers wearing sexy or scantily clad outfits, and they were, let go and they were able to walk around and be free. But then there were certain others who were forced to cover up, like the hotel would give them blankets and security would follow them with these blankets to make sure they went to their room to change. One of my friends said that she had to sit in front of her room and wait for her friend, and the security guard was watching her the whole time to make sure that she changed. And that was like, it made her very uncomfortable and a little scared to even go out the rest of the day. Like she got so uncomfortable, she just changed out of her cosplay and just was in normal clothes the whole time with a wig.
Yeah, and then there was the gratuity tip added on at the restaurant for cosplayers, and then for non-cosplayers it wasn't added. That's the rumor going around as well. Like if you were in cosplay and you were eating at the restaurant, the server would request an 18% tip on the bill, and you couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, like here's my thing on that. Like I'm not, this isn't saying like we're against tipping and all that, but why are the cosplayers being targeted for more?
Yeah,
expecting more than the regular people. If you're gonna do that, I mean, what? Because
make it a weekend policy, I think.
Yeah,
and then they also charged $8 for water for cosplayers, and then they gave it for free to everyone else who wasn't in cosplay.
So I actually want to ask you a question real quick, and this is an opinion question. You don't have to answer it. If you don't want to answer, you could say pass, because we know you're under certain, restrictions and liabilities and stuff like that, guidelines and all that stuff. But in your honest opinion, do you think the venue location screwed over made the convention? It gave the convention too many obstacles to actually be successful.
Yeah, I'll make it even. The convention saw first year that, holy shit, they made this much money off of us, but and they thought they can make even more. But then they started charging. Well, the year before, they thought that they let us run free just so that they could buy in and take it in.
Because as somebody that works for a hotel, as somebody that used to work for a hotel, I honestly truly believe. So, like, it's not. There are certain things that the con, like, because you're part of the convention. There's certain things that could have been handled better. There's certain things that could have been done better. There's certain things that should have been this way, should have been that way, whatever. But I also firmly believe, and you kind of just like said it, but I believe the convention's like, okay, look how much we made. Like, because conventions, like hotels do hate certain groups of conventions. It doesn't just have to be like cosplay, Comic-Con, anime cons. They hate beauty pageants. They have BDS cons. They have all kinds of different conventions, all kinds of gatherings, CEO, whatever. religious. There's a lot that they hate, and they will purposely screw over or overcharge or just make the entire just the what am I thinking? They'll make the entire weekend unpleasant for the guest.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked that, because it does kind of feel like the hotel played a big part in some of the, because there are a lot of people that, let's just put it out there, there are a lot of people that did have fun at the convention. There's no doubt about it. There are people that had fun.
Oh yeah.
There are people that had a great time. There are some people that were miserable. But that is also at every con. I've been to conventions that I consider perfect from beginning to end. There was something to do. It was fun. Food, like free breakfast. I like, sometimes when there's a con with a free breakfast, I feel guilty because I'm eating food. And I'm like, this con was a 10 out of 10. And somebody's like, the con was a 3 because whatever fucking reason. So I do believe that sometimes that venues go out of their way to make it just an unpleasant experience for a lot of its attendees.
I heard the rumor that they're trying to push WEEBCON out. They're trying to make it unpleasant enough for them to change venues. I don't know how true that rumor is, but if that is true, it is Marriott, and I believe it because they aim for a professional thing. So they don't like to see bunny suits. They don't like to see all this sexy stuff. They like professionalism.
And I think the worst part is it's probably two-sided because the event management, it is, as you guys probably know, the hotel stuff is actually probably one of two sides. It's the hotel itself and the event side. And the events that the hotel's already talking about kind of good. But probably the other side of the hotel, I get rid of it because there were more work. We'll go. I don't know. It's a lot.
I actually agree, because like when it's not just hotels, this is kind of any kind of event. You have two different types of people at an event. Oh, these fucking people are here, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the people who are like, go out there and make me money. Like, but they're naked. Are they making me money? Yes. Then I don't give a shit. So you have two people. You have the, are they making me money? Cool. Let them have fun. Or you have the, God damn it, why are they here? And I truly believe that, because that could be the mindset. Now, hotels go through new management all the time. You probably have some managers in there that are like, they have that mindset, like, ah, shit, weaves. And like, let's be honest here. And I'm sorry if I upset anyone, but weaves don't exactly paint themselves in a good light. Look at Bread Boy.
Yeah.
When people see him, they're like, oh, okay, look, I bet you they're all like that. And then you have actual legitimate, like, good, like, gas cosplayers, people that like, that don't do anything bad. They're great. They're pleasant to work with. It's like a dream. Like, when you see this person, they ooze out Disney princess energy. Like, the minute they start singing, I better not see squirrels and like birds roll in, you know? I haven't been keeping up with the comment section. I do apologize. Yeah, so that's also another thing. And I can, as I think Wi-Fi, you worked for Marriott as well. One thing that a lot of hotels, when they get conventions, when they get groups, the reason why they slap on, they will purposely raise prices because they assume like, oh, if they're coming here, they got to have money.
Oh yeah. We paid about $900 for our room, and we're a Platinum Elite member. So we didn't get many discounts at all for the Marriott. I'm
not going to say which con. No, I will. Fuck it. It was IkiCon. It was IkiCon at the AT&T Center. It was
No
IkiCon.
way.
It was IkiCon at the AT&T Center. I actually got a suite for the exact same price as their regular rooms when I booked outside the block as a rewards member.
Yeah, no way.
But how do we get page? I do.
Yeah, for IkiCon, we learned to get Airbnbs because they're the exact same price as the resort, and we get like 6 bedrooms.
Well, so IkiCon used to be around New Year, so I knew that I would drink, so I didn't want to like travel too far back to my room, so I would just like crawl back. Who dropped? Oh, it was Dank. Dank Puss. Yeah. So at one time, the Galleria. So okay. So I can actually shed some light on that. So we talked to the Galleria because I was working with Kamikaze Con at the time. So I don't know if it was Kamikaze Con or it might have. You might be talking about a different con, but the Galleria, they didn't ban cosplays per se. It's just that a lot of people were going to the Galleria with their faces covered. And they don't allow that. They've never allowed that. Because in case of an incident, they need to be able to identify you. So that is like understandable. That's for liability reasons. Now, I know Delta was at that same location at one point. So I don't know if it was a different story then, but for Kami, it was because people were breaking the no mask rule.
Let me address this comment real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We paid 1,100 for the room Thursday through Sunday. Also, Platinum Bonvoy here. The room definitely wasn't worth the price. As nice as the view was, that is entirely correct. It definitely wasn't worth it. I think we got the $900 price because we booked it like really early, but like the fridge was completely turned off when we got in there, so we couldn't even put anything in there. We had to leave it on overnight and turn it all the way up. And there was no microwave, so we couldn't cook anything or heat anything up. It wasn't worth the price. Definitely not. And the rooms were very small.
Wow. Fuck. Actually, so I have a question for the 7th Princess of Heart. Are you talking about like Denver, the city in a different state? Or is there a Denver, Texas I don't know about?
The rooms were dated and our amenity they took for centers replacements. Wow.
Wait, is that Denver? Like, is there Denver, Texas?
Either Denver, Colorado, or they talk about Denton, Texas.
I think Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, it has to be Denver, Colorado.
What?
Yeah.
No. I mean,
Denver, Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. I'm not leaving Texas. Sorry.
Yeah.
I barely want to go. I barely want to leave the city. Oh yeah, so auditorium. Okay, Platinum Bonvoy.
The mini fridge worked in my room, but I totally bought and brought an waffle iron and hot pot to make our own food.
Oh yeah, the coffee pot we got, it just was leaking everywhere, and it was just broken for us, so we couldn't make anything. I heard one of my friends though.
All right, so I'm putting this out there. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm putting this out there. Ninja, if we're ever at the same con together, I'll compensate you, but I'm gonna look, you're gonna have to feed me, okay? I'm just putting out there. I'm gonna be a dependent. I will be a burden, but I will pay you because I can't boil water, so I will starve.
I can't boil water.
Yeah, my friend used the coffee pot to make a grilled cheese. I don't know how they did it, but that was.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of videos on TikTok that show you how to do that stuff, or how to make your own ramen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can make a grilled cheese on the engine of your car, depending on what kind of car you have.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah, you actually can.
Yeah. Oh, so yes, Denver, Colorado. That is that something you can comment on, or is that something you'll have to pass on?
That's something I'll have to pass on.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough. Which, by the way, I like that because we can you can just be like, no comment. Yeah, it makes it sound legit. Other than that, so it is kind of late. We do have to start wrapping up. Let me just say, thank you, JK, for coming on and just shedding some light and answering some of our questions. Honestly, I know for a fact that it can be frustrating working for a convention. You're gonna have to type in your things on the chat so I can plug it in for you, by the way. No, but I know I've worked for a con before. I've been offered to work with for a couple conventions. I've turned those down. I know it's a lot of work. I know it's a lot of stress. I've seen people that now have more gray hairs than I do, and I'm older than them.
Which is the other way. It should be the other way around.
Right? Yeah. I have 7. They have patches. And
if there's one more thing I could say real quick, if they'll have age a little bit. There was a lot of times we didn't make any change last year, and that was probably the most careful thing. Because I know for a fact we took every comment that we saw from last year in our Discord, on our Instagram, or Twitter, just to make sure we accumulated. I know there was at least 3 of us working on it that accumulated all the feedback, and we said, okay, there were this many people talking about this many people talking about that. And like, for example, the biggest thing you made this year, which people end up complaining more about this year than they did last year, we separated artists, though we found Equilibrium. And we did that, and we made sure it was visible and everything, that people complained about it when, they only did that because people asked. People asked us to get certain things, and we heard to listen and we bought it in. Well, rather than telling us that we did a good job, people started complaining about it because we made pictures.
I actually look. Sorry, I had lost my train of thought because somebody sent me something, and this is not related to the panel. This is something I need to address later. Okay. Ugh. So I want to say, look, we talked, and you have no idea how much I appreciate you for coming on, for caring, for checking the comments, because we talked about it. And like, people feel like you guys are checking them. At least a few of you guys are checking. Y'all care. Y'all want it to work out. Y'all want it to be successful. But people feel like, oh my God, they don't give a shit. They're doing the whole bossing say thing. There's no Warren bossing say. And I don't know if there's any truth to that with some of the staff members. I know you can't really comment on that. Here's the thing, though. Like, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come on here, listening to the voices of the people, reading the comments, listening to their grievances, their complaints, giving them some, like, sharing their criticisms, because there are legitimately conventions. I'm not going to say which cons because but you can kind of guess. There are conventions
so many that I can already know who you're talking about.
Right. There are some that just don't give a shit. And they've been going, like, there's one con that has been going downhill. They've been downhill for a while, for years now, and they even canceled this year. And like, a lot of the times they don't listen to people. They don't give a shit. They're constantly fighting. Like, it's just not going to work out. But you guys are at least trying. And people are just saying, like, and they'll say it's a lot whenever a show is not that great. It's always, whenever a show doesn't do well, they're like, oh, the con chair doesn't give a shit. The con chair doesn't care. And that is true for some conventions where the con chairs don't really have a hands-on. They just leave it to the staff and like, all right, go out there and make me money. But at least, you're here showing that, you know what? Let's fix this. Let's save the con and make it better.
And like I said when I came on, our goal at the beginning was never to be another. Our goal was to be, and this is what that means. It means we're looking out for you.
All right, Dang Post, I didn't realize you were in the backstage studio part. I'm so sorry. Because I'm so used to your thing not being on screen.
Oh, mood. I thought it was just my connection messing up again.
No, that's my bad. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. I do have to wrap up my stuff. Well, we do have our post show. You guys are more than welcome to stay post show if y'all want to like share some. But we're gonna start with. So obviously JK can't share any information, but you know who can? The Wi-Fi wife can share some social media.
Oh boy, I got so much on here. It's crazy. Y'all talked about the neo-Nazi in attendance, right?
Yesterday we did.
Okay, that was crazy.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Apparently he was also at the RE meetup. I didn't make this public, but he was also taking pictures of a minor whose tights ripped and their ass was hanging out at the exact same time. So he just kept taking photos of that. It was crazy. Let's see what else happened. It was a disaster.
Check the chat.
Okay, well that's new
Oh,
information
he was
for
on
me,
our
but
radar, by the way, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. He was on our radar, but we can't catch everything, and so I personally knew about at least a few people that I knew before. Okay, these people are problems, and we need to keep them. But obviously, we can't be everywhere.
Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
I also heard, I think it was the venue itself. They posted this. I don't really know what it was because I didn't do it. But apparently, in a room, they had labels A through Z with luggages, and the venue just started throwing it out into the hallway.
Oh my gooseness.
Yeah, what was that about? Was it like for the desk or?
I think it was for the desk, like it was overfilling. I don't know what happened there. I just heard that the venue started doing that to the con goers.
Yeah, I always wondered about that. I was like, what's with all these luggages here?
Another thing
Yes.
I would like to bring to JK, the vendors had stolen art.
Oh.
It was crazy because I was looking at it and I was about to buy it, and then someone came over and was like, "Hey, that's stolen art. Look closer." And I looked closer, and all the styles didn't match up, and some of it looked like AI. It was specifically the guy who was selling the metal bookmarks. I'm just gonna out him right there. But
Wow.
yeah, I feel
wish
like
if you had a business card or anything, I would love to look into it deeper.
yeah, I don't have their business
that
or
wasn't
anything.
that wasn't my area, but I can't speak on that.
Definitely could benefit from background checks for vendors.
Yeah, because there's a lot of conventions nowadays. They're like flat out banning people selling AI. If you're caught selling any AI, they will kick you out immediately.
Oh, 100%. Not for this show, but I do vendors often. Yeah, that is something I support, and that is very important.
Yeah, and
I
I've
do,
seen like, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I do want to address that the supremacist thing that you mentioned earlier. Like a lot of other people were also kind of working on trying to get him out themselves because they weren't necessarily sure what the con could do or if the hotel was taking it seriously. So he also was the one who organized the Resident Evil meetup, and a lot of the people who went there didn't really know that he was a
Yeah, I
thing,
didn't.
but then they found out shortly after, and apparently some people are planning on editing him out of pictures, but there's a lot of a lot of people questioning, or not questioning, but just letting it slide that he's a supremacist
Yeah,
for some
I
reason. A lot of people
didn't
just don't
even know
care.
he was hosting RE meetup. I didn't even hear about it.
Here's my PSA. It's always going to be, don't wait till any staff member know. Please just find us. We will find the care for this house so we can. And if not the person, they'll find the next person, because it's not a thing we take. We do want to take care of the problem that they come up. And if you let us, the sooner you let us know, the sooner we can do something about it.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to address real quickly is the panels and the meetups. I heard a lot of the panels did not have any accommodations like video equipment, microphones, speakers, even though it was requested. So, do you know what happened there by chance, or?
So, full clarity on that. The person we have in charge of panels and there's info desk, the same person. It makes sense. They would check in person someone for the info desk, and they would have their panel, and if they need help with panel, them were there. The system would help take care of it. But they were a couple, and their kid had a incident, and they had to run. And what ended up in that moment, a parent is they left with it.
Gotcha.
So they have to leave high and dry Friday morning. Yeah, it was Friday afternoon, and I got blame them for it, and we weren't prepared to take over their position.
Oh.
And so we feel bad that anything bad happened, but also, yeah, I have to put it out there that we were left high and dry on that department. And
and was that also? Oh, sorry.
God, yeah.
Was that also for the meetups as well? Because I heard
Yes,
some meetups were mashed
in the
together.
same department.
Yeah.
That ends up being it ends up being the same department, and had a person in there, I know they would have been their hardest to fix any situations, but we had to follow schedules because we were not prepared to edit and just plan around it, and it's
Yeah, that makes sense. This sounds like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong this weekend for y'all.
Especially Friday, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Like we prayed that Sunday would be better, and it wasn't. And then Sunday we finally said, "Oh, thank God, it's a half hour after everything. We can start breathing now."
Yeah. Definitely, I think the venue caused most of the major issues for y'all.
If you want me to be honest, I would say most of the issues from the con come from you, the venue itself, and from the agents of the VA, or that. Doctors and VAs themselves love us. They want to hang out with us. They want to be more involved. But their agents will need that number. Because in the end, and this is the most predatory thing in a convention. The agents, how they make their money is making sure that their voice actors and their actors, whoever they're sponsoring, is making money. Because they don't make money in the end of the day. And I honestly, if they organize a lot of things and they settle with things for the rest, it's scummy. Because if I know a lot of voice actors that they could, and they knew that they wouldn't be resold, because let's be honest, the reselling market is also a problem. They would sign things because they know their fans care about them and their fans respect and support them.
Yeah.
Because of the world we live in, gay is new make it got, and these resellers are out there charging 200, 300, 400 times 100% of what they paid to make money, and that's what they do for a living. And it's disgusting and it's repulsive. And makes me sick.
Yeah, as an artist and someone who also knows a lot of vendors and also produces some art under an alias for vendor myself, I think that AI is very predatory, and I'm glad that a lot of conventions are able to spot that out and wean it out. And I really hope that in the future, WeebCon is able to weed that out as well, because I'm glad that we share the sentiment, us as the audience and you as an employee for the convention also share that sentiment that it sucks and it's very predatory.
Okay, sorry that people are still sending me stuff, and I had to address something. So we addressed the parking situation. We addressed the panels. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's all we can cover tonight, guys. Because, like I said, it is pretty late. Our shows are normally 2 hours.
Three and a half.
Almost 3.5. So the wife, the Wi-Fi wife. Did you want to plug in your Instagram or anything? YouTube? Anything like that?
It's the Wi-Fi wife on everything, on my Twitch and my Instagram.
All right. So next is going to be Dankapus.
All right, it's a Danktopus Hunter on most everything, and Danktopus on some things. I just formally ask, do not follow my Twitter.
You have been warned.
This is a
next
warning.
up,
This is a threat.
Next up, it's Keyblade Sonic.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Super Saiyan Sonic. That's my Instagram handle. There's a link in the bio which takes you to my link tree, which has all of my other socials, such as Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, etc. All the stuff is there. Once again, Super Saiyan Sonic on Instagram.
All right, thank you. All right, guys. So next week on Monday, we'll be back on Saturday with our WrestleMania pre-show at 6 p.m. Join us as we talk about WrestleMania. The Rock is returning to compete with the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns to take on Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Saturday and Sunday at 5.
Yeah,
WrestleMania starts at 6.
Yep, show starts at 6. We will be live at Probably
from
at 5.
Big City Wing. We'll be live from Big City Wings at the marquee location. The address is on our advertisements, which we will post. Next week, More Phenomeno Expo, the Power Ranger convention in the San Antonio area, will be joining us. They got Rocky and Catherine, who are the Power Ranger Zeo and Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Red and Pink Ranger, on as guests on the convention. We do have some special podcasts that we're doing. We're doing females of cosplayers, I think is what we were going to call it. Think of us.
Yeah, what title to be determined?
I thought it was Queens of Cosplay, right? Yeah.
There you go.
We hadn't actually decided. I don't think we'll call it Queens of Cosplay.
Yeah, there you go. Cosplay Queens.
Queens of Cosplay special. We're doing a Mother's Day special. We'll announce the dates.
So.
Yeah, we have a lot planned. We're doing a Dragon Ball 40th anniversary in December. We're doing a Power Ranger 31st anniversary in August. We have a lot planned, guys. And we're doing our show live at Comic Palooza. That's right. You can come check us out at Comic Palooza. If you haven't already, do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you ring-a-ling the ding-a-ling button so you can be notified every time we go live. But mostly just give us a thumbs up on the video. It helps us with the bullshit YouTube algorithm. Next week, the podcast rating will be changed from mature to PG. So the host, me mostly, can't cuss anymore, but I can't stop my guests, so it is what it is. So we'll see everybody Saturday and Sunday. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, JK, for joining us. Thank you for shedding some light. It means a lot. Thank you, everyone, for supporting the channel. Thank you for having you guys. We call ourselves the voice of the voiceless, and your voices, but you guys were the voices, and y'all were heard. Trust me.
Okay,
your voice
were heard. Yes, you were.
You were. Your voices did not fall to silent ears. Or
yeah,
I don't know. Deaf ears.
Yeah, it's not falling off deaf ears. It won't be anytime soon.
All right, so make sure, like I said, give us a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Fanfiction, follow us on, well, not Pornhub anymore.
Well, not here in Texas, unless you got a VPN.
No, we don't actually have a Pornhub. That's just a joke. All right, guys, have a good night, and we will see you Saturday. Peace.
Till then, take care, guys.